never got it. You ain't seen nothing. Yeah, yeah, we ain't saying nothing. Black bar over my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Blur that face, can't fact check the madness. Torn out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad-libs, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. I was young, I was dumb, I was scrolling. Type way too much, hit send, heart swollen. Now I keep receipts like a lawyer with a folder. But anything risky get hit with the toner. Whole group chat, got tails, I ain't claim. If my name pop up, that's a typo, blame. Who's that in the pic, man, that ain't go strange. That's a random stranger with a very close face. Understanding my friends, I plead don't recall. If they ask for the tape, it's a missing file. If they pull up the clip, that's deep fake style. If they show me the proof, I just smile like redact this. Black bar over my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Blur that face, can't fact check the madness. Torn out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad-libs, highlight, right click, boom, yeah. Redact. If it hit too close, that's a rumor I heard. If the dateline match, that's a clerical error. If the outfit match, that's a popular shirt. If the tattoo match, that's a stock photo search. I'm allergic to question, coughing the light. I just edit the ending, soften the bite. Take the worst 3 parts of the night, then slice like fun was had and we were not. Every X got a chapter I seal. Every text got a gap in the reel. I ain't lying, I'm curating the reveal. Just trimming little bits of the raw, real deal. If you saw, you didn't. If you know, you didn't. If you talk, I'm clipping. If they ask, we glitching. Swipe that name out, crop that frame out. If it made me look foul, delete then fade out. Redact this. Black ball over my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Blur that face, can't fact check the madness. Torn out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad-libs, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Redact this.
Oh yes. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started. Let's work it out. Let's do it. I'm almost there. Let's do that. I'm ready. I'm here. I was just doing some stuff. I was working about. Hold on, I got to jump over the chat room. There you guys are. Hi, welcome. Good to see you. It's nice to see you. How you doing? Great show this morning with our dear friend Rob Glenn for Friday Eye. Informative, functional, future forward. I'm going to add futurist to my ever-growing list of hyphenates in honor of the god that I serve, Lu. He's the Celtic god of polymaths. I was very excited to find out they had one. I'm like, I feel seen. Good to see you. Hi, chat room. Did Bill talk to the press after having his time wasted? I don't know. We're going to look that up in a second. But there's obviously so much coverage from the yesterday part of this that we're going to have to deal with kind of the fallout from that stuff. I do have the remarks from the Republicans as they came out. The Democrats were like, they came forward, they said everything, Clinton was forthcoming. He fired off a bunch of shots about why you were bothering his wife about it, which, makes sense, kinda. And of course we've got a little bit of, I don't know, like, I want to jump into so many of these things right away, but first I want you to hit the like. That's first that. Yeah. Oh, thanks. When there's lightning. Sorry. Yeah, I do. It is a bit D.O. right now. I don't mind. That's not a bad thing. And let's see. Okay. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Hello. What's happening, Cynthia? Good to see you, Kelly. Hey, Alan. What's happening, everybody? Okay, so all right, do I get this? Okay, I get this one up here. I got that one, and I'll add this clip. And I like, there's a flood of them. And of course, you know, in keeping with this, I was watching all the stuff that was coming in a little window on my computer as I was 3D printing some things this afternoon. Because I'm sorry, but Rob Glenn, when we get a good conversation over this stuff, I enter nerd mode, and it's hard to break out. I'm sorry, not sorry. So, howdy, what's happening? Hey there, hello, whatever site you're on, do the most positive interaction, nodal interaction that you can possibly do with that site. And by that, I mean emotes on our, you know, from our lovely subscribers over at Twitch, YouTube, it's just words. They love the words. They love it when you're verbose. Facebook and Instagram, angry emojis all the way. And then, of course, Rumble. I think somebody on Rumble has to tell me why they would subscribe to that site just to see Russell Brand and Bongholio. Yeah, and slap fighting. That's pretty much the whole site at this point. All right, now let's jump into this because there's a whole bunch. Let's start with oversight Republicans gaggling after the Clinton deposition. This is Bill Clinton's deposition that happened this morning. Why do you shrink down a little bit? There you go, so we can see more of it. Here we go.
Heads up.
I would like to say, for the record, though, Comer is singularly, I have a very big tongue. It's sometimes difficult. The most ridiculous House member that exists. Period, bar none. There are some that are meaner. There are some that are dumber, certainly. But he is completely fucking useless. It's great that because of that they put him in charge of so many things. I mean, I'm not worried that he would actually find anything criminal in all of his investigations, but if they did exist, he'd be the last dude to dig them up. He's massively ineffective at anything but a circle jerk. And again, like I don't think there's anything to find in a lot of these situations. Certainly not the Hunter Biden stuff, and he never was able to find something. But if there was something to find it and you didn't want it found, you'd want Comer looking for it. Anna-Paulina Luna is a Nancy Mace version of James Comer every day. Doop-a-doo.
Well, our deposition of former President Clinton has concluded. I want to thank everyone for braving the cold and staying out here. I know it's been a very long day.
That's you're leading with that. Sorry, do you think these people just stand out there waiting to hear from you all day long? They don't get word from inside like, hey, it's cold, get out of the truck, here they come.
I believe this was a very productive deposition. I will have to say that President Clinton answered every question, or attempted to answer every question. We can talk about some of his answers in more detail, and I'm sure once the video is released and the transcript's released, not only will you, but a lot of people in America will have more questions about some of the answers that were given and where we go from here. But
yeah, especially apparently the last one where he was like, now when are you going to ask Trump?
Respect to today, this was a long process, and I want to say this was historical. I believe that in the history of Congress, the two highest ranked officials to ever be deposed by Congress would be President Bill Clinton and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. This is a serious investigation
that they took seriously, and apparently just, again, redefines Donald Trump as a massive chicken shit. I mean, granted, look, of course he's scared to testify, because if he did and he had to speak honestly, and you were going to release the transcript and the video like you're going to do with the Clintons, it's going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. He's going to fuck up the narrative. He's going to come up with a new thing like, I kicked him out for because he was poaching people from my spa, and I didn't have to. I just, I did. I mean, he came back a couple of times after that, but I mean, we were, I could ask him back if I wanted to. I mean, I could pardon Ghislaine Maxwell if I wanted to. Like, that's where he'll go.
We will continue.
What Republicans what they fear more than anything is Trump's lack of discipline in a situation like that. And that if they release the video, you'll see like 9 lawyers behind him going,
To try to get the truth to the American people and justice for the victims. But I think a consistent theme continues to persist throughout all the people that we bring in. Obviously, the government failed the victims. There was...
Yeah, you're doing it right now, asshole. I got news for you. In the 8 hours you spoke to Hillary Clinton, you could have given an hour to each of the victims that showed up at the fucking Pam Bondi hearing last week.
Justice was not served in Palm Beach when Epstein was first arrested.
And therefore was further unserved by Trump giving Alex Acosta a no-show government job where he could draw a paycheck and build a crony capitalist empire.
We're very concerned about that. We still have lots of questions about how Epstein accumulated so much wealth.
Well, if you'd have shown up for the fucking Les Wexner, God damn it, I'm gonna be yelling all night, aren't I? That's what it's gonna be. You should. They talked to the money guy 10 days ago. You fucking moron. Jesus Christ. If you have any questions about the money, he's the first guy you'd ask. Him and Leon Black, those two guys. If you want to know where the money came from, it came from them, primarily. And fucking side clients that he had, like Woody Allen and fucking Noam Chomsky, for fuck's sake. But the big money, Les Wexner and Leon Black. And you didn't show for the Les Wexner one, and you're not calling Leon Black.
And we will continue to...
And you can't call, I guess, Jean-Luc Brunel because he fucking killed himself in jail. Or did he?
bring some...
Fucking, right now, I guarantee it. Like, Brunel and Epstein are on an island together somewhere in the Middle East or in the Mediterranean with new noses and new chins, and they have to live together for the next 10 years until the heat cools down, and it's a sitcom waiting to happen.
More people in and try to get answers. I'm going to yield to the other committee members, but every member of the committee participated both days and asked very good questions. Ms. May?
Yes, I want to thank President Clinton for being here today. He was here for a very long day. He did attempt to respond.
Okay, I got to say, too, that Comer's a goober, but this guy over here, the guy who had the backpack yesterday, right up there. Just his whole demeanor. He reminds me of the character that Philip Seymour Hoffman played in The Big Lebowski. You know, when he was like waiting with the note, and then he's like the ransom note. Oh, here you go.
To every single question.
Please don't touch that.
Asked, even when his attorneys told him to shut up, he kept, going. I think there's agreement too on everybody who is here on both sides of the aisle that we want to get to the bottom of this. Whether
you are at the bottom, lady. This is the bottom. You need to get to the top of it. That's really what this is. Let me explain something to you about criminal empires, fuckhead. Okay, so if something is buried under a mound of other shit, that's where the phrase kind of get to the bottom of it is. Like, when are we done with this pile of shit we're having to eat? That's getting to the bottom of it. What you need to do is get to the top of it, you dizzy fuck, because it's the people running it at the top that are the biggest concern to most of us. You know who are at the bottom? The victims. The victims are at the bottom of this, and how you're treating them and how they've been treated by the justice system and by Donald fucking Trump. And you know who's at the top? Howard Lutnick, Donald Trump, and a myriad of other, a bunch of their foreign running buddies that they invest, they launder money through golf courses with.
Jeffrey Epstein was an intel asset or honeypot operation, sex trafficker, prostitution ringleader, financier of Ponzi schemes, financial crimes, etc.
And there were only 24 hours in the day. The guy's like a sex trafficking Oprah. How does he do it?
There is an effort, I believe, and a belief that we need to get to the bottom of this because...
All right, I'm okay.
Justice was not served in the Southern District of New York. It was not served in Palm Beach. And it certainly hasn't been served for many victims around the world who are victims of this
Who would those be? Have you met with them? Actually, Nancy Mace might have actually met with them. Has Comer met with them? Has the committee met with those people?
operation. I want to thank my colleagues on both sides of the aisle for their questions today. Representative Stansberry had a lot of courageous questions. She showed bravery today. She and I never get along. Sometimes, in fact, can be seen arguing and oversight. But I say that because this is a place that is not partisan. This is a place where...
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. There is a protection racket going on to protect your candidate and president. Partisan, whatever. Again, the bottom is nonpartisan. The top gets real fucking partisan real fucking quick. You bring in Hillary and Bill, but you're not going to bring in Trump. That's the definition of partisan.
The country is seeing Republicans and Democrats work together.
Because they have to. Because a law was passed by a discharge petition that includes all of the Democrats and 4 Republicans. One of which isn't there today who signed that petition, although I think she gave a statement second, somewhere else.
Figure this out, find the truth, and try to come up with solutions so that when this happens, women are believed, men are prosecuted, their abuses are prosecuted, and justice can be seen and can be...
Oh, so you're real clear. You're leaning back into Me Too all the fucking sudden, and also all of the people that were victimized while Jim Jordan facilitated it. Those guys can get fucked again, I guess. Sorry, I don't like sexism in the protection of sexual assault victims, boys or girls. It's funny.
Done, and I want to thank everyone for their hard work. I think I can't say anything about the questions and answers today or yesterday, but I will comment that I believe you'll see some inconsistencies in some of the responses. I brought that to the forefront this afternoon. Thank you.
I'd like to close by saying that we do intend to follow up and...
You dude?
Bring in, and I know that that's up to the chairman's discretion, some of the co-conspirators that were given lesser sentences that were known to have
Look at me like, we are? She is? We what?
trafficked young girls.
Look at how everybody looked at her all of a sudden. Like, did we say that? Is she doing the Macron handshake? I want to thank everybody for doing such a great job, and especially in insisting on the co-conspirators being called in. What?
Unacceptable. There's a difference between a victim and someone who engaged in prostitution and the trafficking of minors, and that needs to be clarified. I will again hold to the same thing that I said earlier, and that I do believe, and I'm sure some people on this committee also believe, that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset and running some... Yeah,
for Russia. I'm sure they facilitated some of the stuff through Israel, and I think other people were keeping tabs on him. Maybe, somebody was doing a keep your friends close and enemies closer strategy. But, $1.2 billion to Russia in the last 2 weeks of his life, and then an escape plan written on a fucking yellow legal pad.
Form of a honeypot operation. I do believe that President Clinton, as well as the Secretary, were potentially targets of that operation, and we will leave it at that, and I look forward to seeing...
How is the Secretary... Fuck you! How is Hillary Clinton the target of a honeypot? Sorry, is there any evidence that Jeffrey Epstein was running lesbian honeypots as well on straight women? The fuck? Or are you just targeted because anybody you know that's targeted means you're targeted too?
You all react to the depositions as I think that this is information that's important and belongs to the American people.
I don't know why. Hold on 1 second. I don't know why they all seem to turn at the same time. Hold on.
Seeing you all react to the depositions as I think that this is information that's important and belongs to the American people.
Oh, that's the way.
I want to reiterate what some of my colleagues have said. I want to salute our chairman, James Comer, for putting together an extremely professional deposition.
Why is the baseline a high standard? Also, technically, even though it's where you get a paycheck, you're not a professional. You're a public servant. There is a difference, because the idea is that your capacity as a public servant, you actually take an oath to act against your own financial best interests, even if it would harm you, but if it's for the betterment of the country to protect the Constitution, you have to act that way anyways. That's the difference between a professional and a public servant. And it's, by the way, why Trump constantly brings up the idea of people being very professional in their job in his administration, because they're not public servants. They're there to serve him and his financial interests, which is a profession.
These last 2 days, factual. This was not a highly partisan event like most of our hearings are.
You mean, or the deposition of Les Wexner?
When we're in Washington, we were there to ask direct questions. I think President Clinton today was quite candid, probably more candid than his attorneys were comfortable with. But I think that this...
That is hilarious. It is. That his candid answers made Anna Paulina Luna laugh. All right. I'm glad we're having a cheery little post-deposition gaggle about child sex trafficking. Why not laugh, you know?
Well, obviously, when we release a video of this, I mean, you'll have the opportunity to digest it. But we do have to get justice for the victims, because in all of the political food fight in Washington, D.C., what is getting lost is the fact that there are victims that deserve justice.
Yeah, it's not lost amongst Democrats. They seem to put victims at the forefront the entire time. It sounds like you guys are cribbing from that notebook because you sound like assholes and you're calling the Clintons in.
Depositions like this are important because we need to get answers, we need justice for the victims. Epstein and
Also sentence you may have heard before, and I will also like to conclude with a sentence of words.
his associates committed unspeakable evil, and I'm glad that President
Would you consider Donald Trump an associate?
Clinton and Hillary came out here. What I believe I saw over the last 2 days was selective memory. Very good details back into the 90s, and in other times, I don't know, I don't recall. So we have more questions.
Cool. I'll tell you what, let's have a sit down with each member of this committee, and we'll ask you guys similar questions about dates further back and closer, and see if you remember everything in equal measure. I just want to know what your standard is, because I'm sure you remember your kid's 10th birthday because of something happened, but the 5th? Do you remember the party you went to, and like the big party you went to in college, but like 2 weeks later when you hung out at Gary's house? You don't remember that very well, do you? Unless I bring it up. All right.
Questions answered. Thank you.
Can you definitely say that as a result of the former president's deposition, you now have more information that you didn't have before about his sex trafficking ring? And secondly, also as a result of the deposition...
For the record, Bill Clinton did not have, at least that we know of, a sex trafficking ring. We will get into pronoun hell enough in this exchange already, without the he and the him being misdirected. Your Honor. Objection.
Will you be opening any new investigations or new inquiries into specific individuals or institutions?
Well, we're going to bring more people in. We're not finished. We didn't want to announce names before today. It was so hard to get the Clintons in. I didn't want to do anything to jeopardize losing them.
Sorry, if you're going to bring in other people, that would have made it less likely that they come in? How? It sounds like something like Trump would want. Like, just let me come in. Don't ask anybody else any questions. I'll come in and testify, but there can't be any victims. You can't interview anybody else. Anybody that could contradict my bullshit.
I think we learned some things. We were hoping to get more, but there were many questions, as you will see, hopefully in the next 24 hours when the videos were released, that there were a lot of very specific questions about very specific documents and correspondence that were subpoenaed by that we got from the Department of Justice, as well as the Epstein estate. Many times the Clintons couldn't recall or didn't know or denied.
Yeah, and which is weird because they're not really busy people, and certainly not during that time period.
They were pertaining to them. So, but I do think that we picked up some new facts. We asked both Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton where we should go from here as a committee.
And they told you where to go? To fuck yourself city and run for mayor?
We're sincere about trying to get the truth to the American people and hold some bad actors accountable in this.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes. We've got one employee that does the videography, and he had to do the videography today too. So we're going to try to release those. Yeah. Well, the transcript has to be approved by the attorney. So
Right. To make sure it matches.
the video could very likely come out before the transcripts. Once the transcribers were in here, we had a whole team of transcribers. They're going to put it on paper. Then both sides will get to a
You're not just going to run it through CapCut and have the TikTok transcribers miswrite the word sex 100 times?
the transcript, then we'll release it. That's standard rules of deposition. We always do that. We will do that with the videos as quick as we can get them all uploaded and cleaned up, any background noise or anything like that. Then we will release them, hopefully.
Background noise? What do you mean background noise?
In the next 24 hours.
You mean somebody heard you fucking whispering on the tape about what your next question was going to be and that shit, or they heard Lauren Boebert whisper something stupid to you or to Anna? You mean that kind of background noise? Uh-huh. How about you just release it with the background noise too? How about that? You release a version of it where the sound is rock solid, and then you release one with full room noise so we can hear what the fuck was going on and what you're trying to hide in the other video. All right.
Mr. Chairman, I know you've been asked repeatedly about Secretary Lutnick as well. While this deposition was playing out, President Trump said that Secretary Lutnick would testify. Have you made a decision yet on whether you're going to call him in?
Well, we have a lot of questions about anyone who
Yeah, anybody except him.
who spent time with Epstein.
Well, it's funny that you would bring that up because I'm sorry to digress for a moment, chat room. But if you weren't with us this morning or you haven't seen the news, there's a wonderful little picture of Howard Lutnick hanging out on Epstein's Island. That's right, and it was posted today. Let me see if I can scrounge this one up for you. That's just it's just spectacular, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, there we go. Lutnick, and it was redacted for a really fun reason. Let's see, Epstein Island picture, yeah. Because this is good stuff. There you go. Yeah, here you go. Lutnick scrutiny as here you go. This is fun. What's a good title on this one? Let's go with The Guardian, shall we? Unless they block it out. Yeah. There you go. Remember this dipshit? Yeah. I never am going to be in the company of that disgusting man. He's gross. Never. Met him once for 5 seconds. My wife could tell he was a pedophile instantly. Convinced that it was a blackmail ring. Immediately I knew it was a blackmail ring. And anybody that was hanging out with him, which would by and large be Donald Trump, at that point had to have known that he was an absolute pedophile. I knew immediately. And then we find out he vacationed on the island. And then this shows up. This picture is in the Gmail file, which is, I showed you guys last week. I posted it on my Blue Sky, is this collection of photographs that was, I don't know, released, but somebody hacked his iCloud, I think was what actually happened. And they posted everything that was on there. And then they included a bunch of pictures of the estate and some other stuff that were taken by the FBI that was also released. So they just could have put it in a big folder. And in this was a young Howard Lutnick-ish visiting the island. That's him. Not having lunch. And certainly not on the kind of schedule of having lunch where he needs to get out of there in a fucking hour. So this is, where is it? In the picture, Epstein appears front and center, surrounded by 3 other men. Lutnick, dressed in blue shirt and white shorts, stands a few feet behind Epstein. That's him. Okay, I'm fairly certain, by the way, that this salmon shirt person is Lutnick's son. And I'm sure he'll come out and say, that was the same trip I was talking about. That was the one trip or whatever. Okay. Do you have any other pictures of your son from that day? And what outfit you were wearing that day that you went there? Did you have to change clothes after you left the island? Huh. Also, I don't think anybody's going to accuse your son of a crime because he was probably about the age of the girls that were victimized. It wouldn't be a crime for him to meet them. And then, Nancy Mace said Howard Lutnick should take questions from the body. I believe we will have the votes to subpoena him, said Ro Khanna, which is true. I mean, only because it's ratcheting up. Before, he was counting on this getting kicked to the curb. And he admitted to a 2012 lunch on the 10th of February when he was in. I did have lunch with him. I was on the boat going across on a family vacation. I still don't know what the fuck that means. We looked at that. But it just, kind of came up that he showed up. And this picture was redacted. And I'm sure chat room, you guys, some of you that were watching this morning, bless your hearts, you're wonderful sparklers. You guys heard why. It was redacted with a bunch of others for nudity. That's right. This picture had to be redacted. It's still not up on the government site. Let me say that again. It's still not up on the government site. It's been pulled down because it was redacted again, secondarily, like removed from the site, like, oops, that one got out. Hidden for nudity. What are we talking? Bare feet? Are we now, is the standard now swimming costumes from the 1920s? Is that the standard for nudity? Are we going to let modesty get in the way of justice now? Is that what the argument is? This picture was pulled down by Pam Bondi under the guise that it contained nudity and was not for public consumption. Also, I'd like to remind you that they released nude pictures of the victims. Lots of them. They had to be taken down too because people were like, what the fuck? And they pulled those down. This one, they were like, oh shit, well, while we're taking some pictures down, maybe we could scoop some other ones out of here and look out. But it was available because at the time, nobody gave a fuck about Howard Lutnick when these pictures came out a while back. Yeah, so anyways, that's over here, yeah.
Post conviction, the first conviction. I think that's where, and if anyone disagrees, feel free to speak up, but I think that's where...
Oh, I see. So you're going to pretend that nobody knew leading up to the conviction, and this is how you're going to avoid Trump. But the Clintons didn't know him post-conviction. I mean, his lawyer was talking to him, but she didn't hook them up, insofar as I know.
Most of our concerns are, once you knew Jeffrey Epstein was a sex offender, why did...
Yeah, that would include fucking Lutnick, dum-dum. That picture's from 2012.
you continue a relationship, so...
Why'd you start one, you dumb motherfucker?
Stay tuned on that.
Why do you think today was more respectful than yesterday? Was President Clinton more cooperative than Deposed?
Well,
because he could understand the reasoning for his own presence, and there was no fucking reason to bring in Hillary. Good Lord.
We were respectful.
well, yeah, I mean, you can watch the video and say, everybody knows President
Did you ask him about UFOs and Pizzagate? I think is the question.
Clinton. He's got Southern people skills. He's a charming individual, obviously.
Mr. Chairman, President Trump today. Mr. Chairman.
Southern people skills? Well, bless your heart.
You have said in the past that Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton were not accused of any wrongdoing connected to Jeffrey Epstein. After 2 days of asking them very tough questions in that regard, do you still feel the same way, that there's no reason to think that they're connected to any wrongdoing to the Epstein?
Well, they said they weren't. I guess innocent until proven guilty. We're going to go back and look at. The reason Ms. Clinton complained about being asked the same question over and over is because we presented different emails, different documents that would suggest that she was close with Epstein and Maxwell, and obviously she denied that. Now we're going to go back and verify that to see if any type of perjury was committed. Chad.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. President Trump said today that he knew nothing about the Epstein files and he was exonerated
Do you agree that he is exonerated of this matter?
From all the evidence I've seen, he's been exonerated for a long time.
And would that preclude your committee, if that's your position, from your committee calling him?
But we'll discuss that as we move forward. Obviously, we've got more people to bring in, and we'll see if any new evidence arises. But right now, I haven't seen anything. And if anybody,
Can I just say this? The Epstein victims have exonerated President Trump. This is
No, they haven't. First of all, you're only talking to the ones that are alive. Secondly, just because those aren't his victims, don't mean there aren't victims of his. There are like 12 that have made it to Capitol Hill. Those are the ones that aren't afraid to be fucking murdered by the sitting president. There's over 1,000 victims. Some you don't even know the fucking name of. Not because they're Jane Does, but because they've never been named. They were always unnamed underage girl, like the one that flew on the plane from New York to Palm Beach with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and Donald Trump and Corcoran, the reporter from Maximum Golf, on Trump's plane. Hold on.
down, but he's been exonerated over and over again by Epstein victims. We need to get all the information on co-conspirators. We still don't even have the names of all the co-conspirators because the Southern District of New York is hiding that information by redacting those names.
Can I follow up?
Whoa, no, they're not. First of all, you don't need to find them out from the documents you know from enough from public reporting to call them in. Honestly, you can start your own investigation based on publicly available information, and obviously pay slips from the women who worked for him, which is who I think Mason Lunar are talking about.
Here's my question. Follow up. If that's the case, though, you make the case, the chairman makes the case about why it was so important to hear in great detail from both Clintons, but why it's not worth.
If I can just elaborate
Bill
real
Clinton
quick.
was on Epstein's plane 26 flights. I mean, he had information with them for hours and hours. Lots
Real
of
quick,
dinners, all the
Chad,
things.
if I can just add in.
You have seen the fucking party video, have you not? Have you read the article about Jeffrey loves his social life and he likes women as much as I do, some of them on the younger side? How would he know he likes his social life? Because they partied once? Twice? 3 times a pimp.
President Clinton, and you guys will all be able to hear specifically what he said, referenced a 2002-2003 conversation of which he did not feel that President Trump had any wrongdoing in regards to Jeffrey Epstein. It's incredibly important that you guys see through
Well, wouldn't you want Trump's version of that conversation?
the partisan nature of
Sorry, you have a lot of questions and concerns about perjury when it comes to Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. But that answer you trust. Okay.
what has become this entire investigation. It's also important that you guys are reporting the fact that everything that we are seeing in these documents, to include what I presented to both the Secretary and President Clinton, show that Epstein was running an intelligence operation. He was targeting people specifically, and he was intentionally bringing in and using women to traffic in minors and then exposing vulnerabilities for different people. What I will also say is that, like Nancy has said and the chairman, there is nothing that we are seeing where there's criminal involvement or reason to believe that the president has any wrongdoing, and that is why we are not...
No, that's not true either. There's not anything you haven't seen. Okay, there's you could say that the 302s are unverifiable or what have you, but there are multiple accusations against Trump and multiple sightings of him hanging out with Epstein in situations where criminal activity would have been carried out. So that's first of all, the way they're hurting themselves right now, more than anything, is the use of like any and nothing and exaggerated terms like that. You could say unverified. You can say less than trustworthy or some shit like that. But they're too afraid to address the actual stuff that's in the files that do get Trump in trouble. They're pretending that doesn't exist, and that's the problem. You can downplay it. You can, it would require you attacking victims, which is what they're doing right here. Let me be abundantly clear. They're attacking victims when they say this, because victims have made accusations against Trump multiple times. They are in some of the files that have already been redacted. They're in previous files that were unreleased, and there are, and there are clearly more documents that have not been released that are protecting Trump, period. They just are. We know this. We know this just by the way that they put up a picture that included Howard Lutnick and took it down again because he's the fucking Commerce Secretary. Now, the question is, did Pam Bondi go, oh, fuck, sorry, Howard, and take the picture down? Did Howard call and go, what the fuck is that picture? Take it down. It's screwing with my lie. Now I'm busted. And they took it down for him? Or did Trump call on Howard's behalf? Or did Trump call Bondi and say, why is Howard's picture up in there? Take that one down. And by the way, all those decisions are supposed to be logged, and part of the law is that they have to show their homework. Have they? No. So the idea that there's nothing and no one and no victim and all that kind of stuff, both of these assholes act like they're on the side of victims all the time and are playing on the fact that they're women to like bone up their bona fides, as it were, on that idea, on that sort of propaganda push to the people that they're selling this horse shit to. But they're actually using the fact that they're women to mask the fact that they are attacking the victims. This is an attack on victims, saying that there is no evidence whatsoever. We've never seen anything. The only way you could never see anything is if you intentionally did not look so that you would have legal, plausible deniability. Period. Katie Johnson's deposition alone, the 4 302s, of which 3 are missing, is proof that there are allegations against Trump, very specific, violent allegations against Trump, and how he, with minors, not just, and by the way, this doesn't even deal with his sexual assault on adult women. So get the fuck out of here with this nonsense.
Supporting this crazy theory and bringing him into all of this. We appreciate that President Clinton said what he did, and I will say that has probably been, I guess, the silver lining in all of this.
And I will say Secretary Clinton and President Clinton both offered, I think, suggestions, advice on where this investigation should go based on information they have, things that they've seen, experiences in their positions, and that's helpful to this entire thing. And again, this has been not partisan. We saw really great questions from the Democrat side of the Oversight Committee and the Republican.
Yeah, you would have seen great ones of Les Wexner too, but you didn't fucking show, did you? Of course it's partisan. Shut the fuck up.
Side today. I was very impressed with where this went today.
Nancy, can I ask, when have...
I, ladies and gentlemen, I just fucking...
This is some bullshit. We see through it.
What the fuck?
Survivor said to you that President Trump is exonerated.
Yes.
Because they've only ever told me that they want to see him tried.
Nope, I've never heard that from a single victim.
You've never heard that from a single victim. Well, then you aren't talking to victims. I mean, I guess that's the trick, right? How do you tell me you're not listening to victims better than that?
When we met on the committee, the Republicans and Democrats met with, what were there, 5 or 6 survivors that day? We met with 2 hours. And their attorney.
Sorry, 5 or 6 out of 1,000. And you're satisfied. So 6 victims out of 1,000 said they were not personally sexually assaulted by Donald Trump. And that means he's free and clear on the other 994 plus. Fucking hell.
Of course, the Democrats asked that question numerous times to the victims, and they all said they never saw anything.
All 6 of them, of the 1,000.
Or heard anything that Donald Trump did wrong, never saw him on the island or anything.
Yeah, currently while he's the sitting president and thinks he can order anybody killed and get away with it.
And if I can just add in real quickly also, there was false allegations made against President Clinton, okay? We are not going to bring in people that were making false allegations against either president.
I see. So how do you know they were false? Because they weren't followed through on by law enforcement? Isn't the whole purpose of this is that there's a separate, system of justice for the rich and powerful? That's why they don't get followed up on? Because they got powerful lawyers and they can shut it all down and the victims are afraid or disappear?
That's not what you do in this, okay? We're looking for justice, and that's why we're going to be bringing in some of the known co-conspirators that were given plea deals, okay? That's justice.
Have you raised
Congressman Lewis did a great job on that day.
Have you raised the issues?
Last question.
I know you have issues with redactions with President. Have you raised that concern to the Attorney General?
I have raised my concern with redaction to the Southern District of New York. They have a letter, the DOJ and the CIA.
My advice to the Department of Justice is release the documents and unredact the names of anyone who wasn't a victim. And I think...
Yeah, that's easy to say, because that's the fucking law, dipshit. You don't get points. Again, so professional. You don't get points for standing up for the baseline of the letter of the law. You don't have a choice. I mean, I think they should release everything, because eventually they're going to have to, because it's the fucking law. And if you guys aren't in power, guess who's going to get it? Guess who's going to... When Democrats take over the House and the Senate, and for you guys, God forbid the presidency, you don't think this shit's going to get cracked open? Along with all the documents about why there was redactions and why there weren't? Jesus Christ. Before Trump leaves office, or Vance or whoever's in charge when this fucking term is done, the biggest thing you're going to see rolled up to the fucking White House and the Department of Justice is a shredder truck. They're not even going to move the fuck out. They're just going to throw everything into a chipper shredder. And somebody's going to be like, Hegseth will be standing there with a fucking flamethrower going, "Warrior, I'm a warrior for Christ," just burning the shredded paper like confetti.
One of the issues we have, can you be a victim and a victimizer? That's a question that...
Of course you can. That's not the point. And you guys are not a law enforcement body. It will be up to either the DOJ themselves to carry out charges on somebody like that, whether they were groomed into becoming a victimizer, like the young girls that were themselves minors when they started bringing other minors in. I think there's a vast difference from that than the women who were 25, 27 years old when they entered the orbit working for Epstein and started doing the same fucking thing alongside Ghislaine Maxwell.
We're going to talk about as we move forward. Now, we look forward to seeing you next week in Washington. We will have further announcements of where we're going with the investigation, but we have 2 more depositions already booked, one with Jeffrey Epstein's accountant and one with Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. So those are fourth.
Great. So both of them have privilege. The accountant's going to go, "I didn't know where this money came from. I just said this is a business he did. He had this partner, he got this money from here. He was just overseeing this money. We made money off it. We loaned the money that they gave us to invest elsewhere while it was sitting in our accounts and made some money off of that. But that was by and large how he did it, blah, blah, blah." And the lawyer's just going to go, "That's attorney-client privilege, even if the fucker's dead." While you're at it, why don't you bring Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers in and ask them what their defense strategy is in the habeas, or their plaintiff strategy is in the habeas corpus ruling. Jesus Christ.
Coming, we'll probably announce some more people we're going to bring in.
And you probably won't.
Prior to those depositions, but I think we had a good 2 days in New York City. I appreciate the Clintons being here. Wish it wasn't so hard to get them here, but as often is the case, it was more difficult than it should have been. But thank you all.
And why? Why was it more difficult? Because they wanted to do it in public, and you wanted to do it behind closed doors. That's why. They wanted to do it in front of the committee, live. Hillary Clinton, even after that picture came out from Lauren Boebert, said, "Fuck it, if you're going to take pictures, just bring the whole press corps in here. Let's do this." But that means they're not being forthcoming completely, right? But Trump has spoken to the press and lied, because it's not illegal to lie to the press. And so that's enough. He's answered these questions a lot. Never under oath. What a dipshit.
in the video and the transcript as soon as possible. Thank you all.
Congresswoman Mays, can we ask a follow-up question?
No, you cannot answer. Well, yes, you can ask a follow-up question, but she will, you can ask her backside because she fucked off. All right, so that we'll see what some of the, what comes out from that. I think. Okay, yeah. So I think this was in the midday part where they took a break, where Anna Paulina Luna came out and I think named some of the women that worked with Epstein.
What I will say is it has become very evident, even in the last 24 hours in lines of questioning.
Leslie Groff, Sarah Kellen.
Jeffrey Epstein was running a intelligence gathering operation. In my professional opinion, I do
What precisely is your profession?
believe it was a honeypot operation. And I do believe that there's a list of individuals who did engage in trafficking, were given these plea deals, and I'm going to name those individuals right now. The first one would be Leslie Groff. The second one, Sarah Kellen. The third one, Nadia Markova. And the fourth one, Adriana Ross. All of these women engaged in the trafficking of minors as adults. They were working and complicit with Jeffrey Epstein's operation.
Good for her. Awesome. Go. Bring them in. Yeah. They know more than the accountant does, and they can say more than the attorney. Period. Also, yes, all women. All the women involved in this.
And in my opinion, they are not to be given victim status because they did partake in harming young girls. I remember seeing in some of the files, some of these girls were, as young as 10, 11 years old and older. And so obviously we have a...
Yeah, like the 13-year-old girl who alleges that Trump assaulted her and smacked her in the face while she was being forced to perform oral sex on him, which you've obviously never heard because plausible deniability.
A lot of work to do, but I did want to come and give an update and let you know that President Clinton...
An update. Don't...
as of right now, is cooperative and answering all of our questions, and that it leads me to believe that if we can remove the partisan nature of this investigation, we actually might be able to get justice.
Oh, by the way, meanwhile, this is a great meanwhile. What a great fucking contrast that Forbes doesn't even realize it's doing for us. Just in, Trump breaks out the Trump dance while doing a rally in Corpus Christi.
Thank you, everybody.
Sorry, I have to blank the music out. Sorry. That's one of the things. Hold on.
I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Points and thongs and vests and thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Boink, boink, doobie-doo. You know what I wanna do. Yay! Boink, boink, doobie-doo. You know what I wanna do. Bust up.
So, American Energy Dominance was the title of this. We'll get to that in a minute. That's what that means, by the way, butt stuff. Doesn't do it as long as he used to, I've noticed. So, obviously, oops, hold on. We don't need to loop it necessarily. Yeah, he gave a speech at Corpus Christi about how much, I guess maybe that was in front of an oil tanker. Maybe that's what it was. Good Lord. Ugh, it's so fucking dumb. All right, we'll look at that in a moment. But a good contrast to what they were saying. So while they're talking about the fact that they're not going to bring Trump in, even though there are credible allegations, multiple ones, some of them seemingly intentionally redacted to protect him and his cabinet members, he's over there doing the fucking dual jerk-off dance. Now, this would be, yeah, that's that actually. I want to jump around though, because apparently Peanut Butter Dickhead and these guys are reacting to the fact that Nutlick was on the island. We know he was. But I just want to see what the protection racket is. I want to see how committed they are. Vinny, we're all looking at you, buddy. Crying last week about your dedication to Christianity, and here comes your first test, buddy. Time to deny 3 times before the cock crows.
Now, there's 2 things that needs to happen, in my opinion, because this is leading to Lutnick. And Lutnick, we've been complimentary of Lutnick. He's very good on camera. He's done a great job. He's built a great...
No, he's not. He's a functional liar as long as you're a gullible dipshit.
Company, successful guy, and picture came out about him with Rob. I think you have the picture. There's a picture that came out, and nobody said no.
Do you think? I'm curious. Do you think they'll mention that it was redacted from the files and had to be released elsewhere? Let's see if they read it from the. I want to see how much they admit to the redaction.
No, this is AI. No, this is AI. No, this is AI. No, this is AI. And then eventually they're like, are those 2? Maybe that's the one that he went with his wife and his 2 kids. Huh. Well, we don't see the wife and 2 kids. That is the island.
It's just a bunch of dudes hanging out. The ladies were on the other side of the island, where the girls must be just, maybe they're the ones taking the picture.
That has now been confirmed that that's Jeffrey Epstein in the white shirt and white pants. And that's Lutnick in the back.
In the blue?
Yes,
that's
like
him?
back
Blue
there.
shirt, that's him in the back. That part's been confirmed. Everybody has been checking to see if this is a correct thing that happened or no, because nowadays you got to definitely check to see AI. CBS has confirmed it. Grok's confirmed it. A bunch of different AI.
Yes, CBS, Grok. These are my 2 sources. If Barry Weiss and Grok say it, it must be true. It has to be. They're on our side.
Platforms have confirmed it. Who knows? Something else may come out. Now, there's a few things.
Sorry, you're hoping to be bailed out on this, that it's AI after all? Really?
This could be the event where he took his wife and kids, and maybe his wife and kids weren't there. He said he was only there for an hour, so maybe they're the ones on the other.
It was a sauntering kind of an hour, though. You know what I mean? It was one of those lazy hours on a summer day where you're like, wow, the day's so beautiful and stuff, and I feel like this day will never end. It's just going on and on and on. Usually these times zip by, but this one's sort of, when do we get the girls? Maybe that'll speed things up.
Other side taking the pictures. Maybe that's what's going on. But you know, when you read the story, I'll read the story to you on page 5.
By the way, the trip he never took until he was caught taking the trip, and then they were only there for an hour, and then they fucked off immediately because they were reminded what a gross human being he was.
And I want to come to you guys on this one here. Oh, I cannot read it because.
Also, when he said his kids were there with their nannies, he didn't have any little kids at that time. I don't think like that. That's when his kid is like 15, maybe older.
Printing didn't do a good job on it. But
oh no, yeah, maybe it's, I blame AI or Rob.
When you look at this story with Howard Lutnick, Rob, zoom in to see if I can read any of it. Okay, a photo appearing Donald Trump, Howard Lutnick, got to go a little bit lower. The picture shows the pedophile walking ahead of the financier at St. James Island, where they visited for a picnic with his wife and his children and his nannies.
Also, picnic. You know, he said lunch. Picnic's a fucked up word in this context. We had a picnic with a convicted sex offender. A picnic? What the fuck? It wasn't real. Having lunch with somebody's one thing, but this was just a picnic. Holy shit! Did you rub his feet?
Okay, go a little bit lower. The picture was located by Gmail, a site run by 2 tech workers who have created a searchable version of Epstein's Gmail inbox by downloading all of the files. The group posted a link on it to the image, which a DOJ file name, the file name was, et cetera, does not match the results of DOJ's Epstein website, suggesting it had been deleted. So this is the controversy here, that they took it down.
No, this isn't even close to the fucking controversy. The controversy is this asshole went on Miranda Devine's podcast, the woman who wrote the fucking Hunter Biden book, and so we can now we officially have a road testing of her fucking gullibility meter and told her to her face, I met him once for 5 minutes and the right kind of massage, and we thought we would never, ever be in that man's possession. And, oh, actually, we begged to be invited to the island because we're swinging by and we'd love to drop by. If we could drop by, it'd be great. Where do we park our giant fucking boat with our entire families and our children? And we'll show up and with our wife and kids and nannies and leave with our kids. I'm assuming the wife left too. No word on the nannies.
Now, why did
what?
Is it because he's an insider? Is it because he's got a job? So that's the part where, you know, people start saying you're protecting it and they get credible. They get.
You didn't read the why they said they removed it. Oh, fuck me. So he loads up the entire story with, we don't even know if it's true. Well, something might come out. It might be AI. We'll find out later. We checked a bunch of places. CBS and Grok say it's not, but something else could happen. We could find out later. Everybody's been tricked or whatever. And you didn't even read the part where it was taken down for some reason, or was it? It was taken down specifically. It was there and then it was taken down. That's how they got it, you dumb motherfucker. And that's why that number isn't there anymore, because the whole document was removed. Secondly, it says why. It was pulled for nudity, of which there is none.
Credit. They say, now you see what you're doing. Now you see what you're doing. Now you're protecting them. And some are even saying that Trump didn't know about it. The DOJ was doing it. And then it's making.
Who's saying that? Who's that fucking stupid? Who's that stupid that Trump doesn't know that they're running interference for both him and his friends? When he yelled at Lauren Boebert, this is going to hurt my friends, right? With probably Lutnick in the fucking room, sweating a fucking pool in the corner.
Making Trump look bad, no matter what it is, you know.
I'll tell you what it is. Trump was going to put Matt Gaetz in this position. And then instead, he chose another person from Florida who literally could have torn up the non-prosecution agreement that was made that protected the co-conspirators. He hired her specifically because, of that reason and the fact that she ran interference on a lawsuit about Trump University. So it was a corrupt reason to fucking start with. And she's not failing at her job, as you assholes like to say. She's doing the exact job she was hired to do.
In the UK, when this took place with Andrew
and Mendelsohn, and yeah,
they not only dropped him from the family, and now he got arrested, right? And they're going after him, as well as the other guy, Mandelson, I don't know how to say his name, another guy that had to step down. Yeah,
yeah, you don't really talk about it much.
Mandelson that had to go through. So at this point of the game, there are certain things that you can just look here while you have a massive issue on this side. Sometimes you just got to go head on and talk about it and address it, make some decisions. So, Vinny, I know you have some.
What the fuck does anybody know what the fuck that was? Tell me what those words meant. Say that again.
Yeah, Peter Mandelson that had to go through. So at this point of the game, there are certain things that you can just look here while you have a massive issue on this side. Sometimes you just got to go head on and talk about it and address it, make some decisions. So, Vinny, I know you have some opinions on this Howard Lutnick picture that came out. And I know, Adam, you do as well. I'll come to you first.
So we were talking about Hillary Clinton a second ago. Now we're talking about Lutnick. There's a cool club going on here in the world, and you're not invited. And you know who also wasn't invited, it seems, is Donald Trump.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. He didn't have to be invited. Epstein brought the island to him, you dipshit. Epstein brought it to him. He didn't. Again, first of all, let's be abundantly clear. The idea that Trump was a victim of Epstein's honeypot is bullshit. He was a co-conspirator himself. He was a fellow traveler. He just didn't do email. So the emails that you're seeing put out are going to be devoid of a lot of talk about him, except from Epstein and others about him, because Trump doesn't communicate that way, because of his fucking Roy Cohn and mob connections. He avoids that way of talking. Also, his flight logs have not been released. Trump was on the flight logs. He lied about them. He lied about never being on them. And then he was on 7 times. Then it's 12. And we know for a fact that Epstein flew on his plane with unnamed underage girls as well. So the idea that he never went to the island. He's great. He didn't have to. They lived 9 minutes away from each other in 2 fucking cities.
Because all these people, all these names keep popping up. Every single one of them will be...
Including Trump in the 302s, where he was accused of violent sexual assault multiple times.
Consider this one word. What's that one word? The elite. And the one story that we hear about Trump was that the elite was no fan of Donald Trump. So
Donald Trump is a fan of the elites. The reason they're not a fan of him is because he's a shyster, because he never really had any money, because he's a dipshit and a con man and gross. He's fucking gross. And there's reason to hang around, I guess, at that level with some gross people because they really do have billions of dollars and haven't borrowed them from Vladimir Putin.
what did Trump do was go out and build his own thing, put Trump on everywhere, went and bought Mar-a-Lago, had his own events.
Yeah, had a casino in Atlantic City where 3 guys with knowledge of the loan that his father gave him by buying a bunch of chips he was never going to actually cash out to artificially inflate the financial structure of the fucking casino died in a helicopter crash that Trump magically at the last minute didn't get on. In the same way that Howard Lutnick managed to. It was the first and only day he ever took his kid to school was 2001. Oh, so I guess his kid would have been 12 on that island. Yeah. I don't know who he needs a fucking nanny for a 12-year-old. Especially on a family trip. Fuck is that? Unless you're planning on breaking away from the kids, having someone else watch them while you go do adult shit. That'd be a good reason for having a nanny along, right? Because it's not really a family fucking trip, is it?
So Trump, wasn't he the guy that kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago?
No, he wasn't. He didn't.
Wasn't Trump the guy that was sort of blackballed by all the illegal stuff in New York? That's why he came down to Florida, built his own thing.
No, he was kicked out because he defrauded charities. His own son fucked up so bad stealing money from St. Jude's that the whole family can't even start a charity to say, you know how fucked up you have to be to not be allowed to start a charity?
He did an interview with the police about him in West.
Yes, as long as he didn't have to be under oath. He dry snitched on Epstein, and then he called Epstein and warned him. That's how a RICO system works. That's how criminal activity works.
Beach.
There you go. So, by the way, all these names keep popping up. Okay, so Howard Lutnick actually did meet Epstein. It wasn't just he was creeped out when he met him before. What's going on there? Scott.
Right, that would be the fucking point of this whole conversation. Instead of you running a protectorate for Donald Trump, who's clearly all over all the documents that haven't been released, including some that were released and oops, had to be re-redacted.
Besson was part of the Trump administration. Who did he work for a long time? Who was that? George Soros.
Mm-hmm.
So all these things are interweaving.
Yeah, apparently the elites are now fine with Donald Trump as long as he fights to keep the Epstein files shut. So the question is, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Trump's completely innocent in it. Never even had known Epstein in the first place. Was like a complete black hole. He had no idea about any of this shit. But he's willing to re-victimize the victims and protect the co-conspirators because some of them are his friends. Does that make it better for you? Does that make him a better guy?
And it's all going on like that. But Vinny wants accountability. And here's the bad news for Vinny. Nothing's going to happen.
God will watch.
You might get people to step down. Yeah. You might get people to be shamed. But I know you want heads to roll. I know you want heads to roll. And I know you want people to go to jail. I don't see any of these people.
Well, of course not, because Pam Bondi runs the fucking DOJ and Donald Trump tells Pam Bondi how to run the DOJ. No, it isn't going to happen like this. It sure the fuck is after these folks are gone, though. You want to talk about a Truth and Reconciliation Act?
I disagree.
Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates. I'm speaking.
I'm sorry.
I'm speaking.
I'm sorry.
I don't see any of them going to jail. And then last thing.
Okay, again, the question wasn't, should they go to jail? The question was, Howard Lutnick lied. He lied egregiously and obviously and sweatily walked it all back. And now there are pictures of him on the fucking island. In 2012, 4 years after Epstein was convicted and did time as a child sex trafficker. Where, by the way, the rumor mill broke open. The story at that point in 2012 about Jeffrey Epstein was not that he had committed those crimes in Florida, but how much he had gotten away with already.
Hillary Clinton. I actually believe Hillary Clinton that she had no affiliation with Epstein. Why? Because Hillary Clinton ain't trying to bang little girls. But Bill Clinton, on the other hand,
But what about business?
may have some explaining to do.
But what about business? I don't think all of this was just hooking up with underage girls.
Do you think anybody in the U.S. is going to get arrested? Anybody?
Anybody? I'm sure there'll be a
Name
guy.
some heavyweights.
No.
You don't think any heavyweights will?
Give me a names and I'll tell you my opinion.
Gates,
no. Bill Clinton, no.
I think somebody.
Trump,
no. I think somebody has to go to jail.
Anyone that has a B next to their name,
let
millionaire.
me ask you.
Anyone that's been a former president,
you think?
I do not see them going to jail.
Okay, so let me ask you. You think?
Because the current president is afraid of the consequences because he's deeper in it than any of those other guys. And if they go, he goes. And he's in charge of the fucking DOJ.
Think what Edward Snowden and Julian Assange did. Do you think the modern day Edward Snowden and Julian Assange are more advanced and better than they were?
Well, of course.
Of course they will. Wait till those guys get to work. Wait.
Who? What do you mean, Doge guys? You think Elon Musk, who's also all over the files and begged to go to the fucking island, wants the rest of the documents to come out so the Doge guys are going to break it? You know what he's doing? You're actually calling for help within the deep state. You're hoping someone inside goes against Trump and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and releases documents to somebody on the outside. Snowden snuck it out, and Assange received documents and directed somebody on how to steal documents, which is why he was in trouble, because that's the difference between like basically hacking and journalism. No. I mean, we have a better chance of Hegseth drunkenly blathering shit he saw to Nancy Mace and her having a panic attack and screaming it on the floor of the House. That's the closest thing to a Snowden or Assange moment we'll get out of this until Democrats control everything. Period.
Why aren't they working on it?
Well,
yet?
they are. What I'm trying to tell you is.
Wait a minute. So he thinks there are already people working on releasing this stuff? Dude, there's an industry inside the government right now that Donald Trump has directed Pam Bondi to run to do the opposite. The law is insisting on the release of these documents. The hacking is going on inside the fucking House.
This direction it's gone. Yeah. You remember when everybody on X was talking about Epstein, and I would constantly go on YouTube and look at Fox and CNN. I would see how many videos were about Epstein, and it wasn't that many. Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember this. So we would be talking about Epstein, and it's like, America doesn't care about Epstein. It's a Twitter story, right? You remember this? And even CNN did a poll one time saying 1% of people think.
Not 1%.
Right. It was less than.
Person.
Right. But guess what? Yeah. Do me a favor. Go to YouTube and go to Fox News. This is Fox News. Keep in mind. This is not CNN. Go to their.
Well, this is why the Clintons agreed to be deposed and why they wanted to do it in public so they could draw more attention to this. And therefore Trump.
Panel. And
because Fox has to report on the Clintons being interviewed, right? They have to.
Videos, Rob. Watch how many videos.
Boom.
Okay. Second one, Epstein. Okay. Go to sixth one, Epstein. Eighth one, Epstein. Ninth one, Epstein. Okay. Keep going.
Epstein.
11th one, 12th one, Epstein. Okay, guess what? You know what this means?
I'll tell you what it means. It means until the Clintons were being deposed, they didn't give a fuck about Epstein and ran interference for Trump, and they're going to continue to do it after this fades because there isn't going to be anything that will come of the Clinton stuff that will move the needle for them.
This is the power of media.
Oy.
The power of media and the people got so sick of it because of the way Pam Bondi fumbled this. She did.
No, sir, please, no. She did not fumble. She is doing exactly the job she has been hired to do. This is not an accident. Feature not a bug. Hashtag feature not a bug.
Oh, I agree with that.
Of course you agree with that, Adam, because you have to believe that. Otherwise, you have to look in the mirror and go, oh, I'm part of a pedophile protection ring.
Finally saying, I'm effing sick of it. Tell me what the hell happened. And folks are sitting there saying, tell me, so that pressure, you think that pressure is going to go away? You think it's going higher or lower?
Trump thinks it's going to go away. He's going to, and the more it doesn't go away, the madder he's going to get at you guys.
Well, the question is, do you think Trump is going to keep the pressure on or basically try to diffuse
He doesn't have a control over that because once the audience gets to
He's been trying. He failed. Yet another failure. You could stack that with the rest of his fucking failures. Tariffs bringing in trillions of dollars last year. Remember that shit? Turns out it's like around 300, which may be double what it was before, but it eliminated $2 trillion from the fucking economy while it brought in $300 billion in tariffs. That's a great trade-off. What an incredible businessman. I'm shocked he went into bankruptcy 6 fucking times.
point. So you can, once the audience and the pressure goes to a point, you eventually have to react.
Do you think?
Who you talking to, man? I mean, I think he thinks he's talking to Bondi.
The pressure is now higher than ever?
Of course it is.
Than ever with Epstein?
With this topic?
Yes.
Of course it is.
Why do you think it's so much
You
higher
think
now?
Because there are videos all over YouTube. If he's using the YouTube as the precursor to the regular news caring about an issue, that Epstein isn't fucking dead, that he escaped. And you know when he would have escaped? In the 3rd year of the last Trump term, you dumb motherfucker.
Hillary and Bill are going to let this go and allow them to be publicly humiliated? You don't know the crap theory? You don't think they're making calls saying, I swear to God, if you do this, I'm going to tell them about what you did that one time in DC. I'm going to tell them about what you did that one time in Hawaii. I'm going to tell them about that deal that we paid you on the side with cash, with the briefcase that was dropped. Go ahead and throw us under the bus. Go ahead, do it. You don't think she's making those calls? Do you not see her stone cold personality on how she did the interview like a freaking mobster? She stayed like a Teflon. Don't forget, as much of a badass as Trump is, if there's a female Trump without the personality, that is an equal without the personality, without the chump.
Well, again, don't threaten me with a good time. I think ultimately a female Trump without the personality. First of all, Trump is only the personality. Secondly, a female that would have control over maggots, I guess, or political. I think it means she's got political chutzpah.
That thinks very highly of herself. It's that lady right there, Hillary Clinton.
Cold. But didn't we argue a few weeks ago, like, she's not even going to come out, even if she comes, there's no point of her coming, and I was like,
she insisted that the press be allowed in.
The fact that she's volunteering to come.
Yeah.
Means she probably has nothing to hide in this instance.
I don't know about
Is she the big fish or is Bill Clinton the big fish?
I don't know. Why
are we so focused on Hillary?
By the way,
it's Bill that needs to
how
be
close is Melinda Gates with Hillary Clinton? How close is Melinda Gates?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is the question. Hey, asshole, Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. Nancy Mace says that Epstein was running a honeypot. There is a long and storied history of Eastern Bloc women being used as honeypots and then control matrix for powerful men in the West. Jesus Christ, try harder.
It's Rob. Can you type in how close is Melinda Gates with Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, that's what we were all wondering.
Let me tell you where I'll go with this one here. You know where I'm going with this or no? Okay, how close is Melinda Gates with Hillary Clinton?
Well,
if they're close, do they have a relationship?
They work together. Melinda Gates Foundation. They
Not
partnered.
a close relationship. Okay,
they partnered.
Look, maybe she is sitting there.
Circle.
Yeah,
what the fuck are you? Jesus Christ! Keep digging, dickhead.
How much you think her and Bill are fully aligned on how to handle this deposition?
Hillary and Bill?
Yes.
Oh, they're business partners at this point.
100% they're aligned.
100%, because he's coming in today.
So the way she answered as if she's not done anything wrong. That's not how the husband's going to do it. How many?
Because there are photos and times when he was around the guy, and there aren't of her. And when he was around her, she wasn't a fucking senator or secretary of state. She was the first lady. Just less control over that. I'll give you an example. Melania was the first lady around the time that Epstein allegedly visited the White House while Trump was in office in the first term in 2017. Did she invite him? Maybe she did. Maybe that's the difference. Holy shit.
Times has a husband been to the island. What are you going to do with
we have
that?
photos of it.
How many times did Epstein come to the White House? No, she could play.
They know. You know how we know? Because we have visitor logs, which Trump won't give out. Trump stopped keeping visitor logs in the first term. He doesn't even do them now. You have no fucking idea who is coming to the White House. Unless they want to announce it and he does a press conference with somebody, you won't know. The reason you know that how many times Epstein came during Clinton's presidency was because they kept a list of everybody that came so that people could scrutinize it fucking later. That's why you keep records. The Presidential Records Act exists for a reason. Trump thought, well, I can do whatever I want with the Presidential Records Act. I'm the president, and it is a record of what I'm doing. It's more Nixon bullshit.
Dumb.
Of course.
But he can't.
I agree.
So part of it here is, are you doing that to make yourself look good and make your husband look bad? I don't know.
No, I don't think you're married for 50 years and all of a sudden, last second, you throw him under the bus.
But you don't know that. I'm saying
we're
about to find out. But to me, the pressure is so bad right now that behind closed doors, they're saying we have to do something for optics purposes.
Sure.
And what is that going to be? So, question for you.
Sorry. Okay. They're brought in for 8 hours of deposition each, which they did willingly and wanted to do in public. But the idea is that after those depositions, they are making phone calls. If you ever asked me a question after the deposition, this is his argument. After the deposition, the Clintons are making calls like, if you accuse me of anything, I'm going to tell everybody about you. Who would that be in the power broker situation that would have any control over the release of these documents? Trump? Pam Bondi? Howard Lutnick? This is, I honestly, I've never heard a dumber strategic theory from these guys, and I've heard a lot. I'm even trying to figure out how that would work just mechanically. Wouldn't they do that before? Wouldn't they have made those calls to avoid being brought in the first place?
Yeah.
Do you think that picture being shown, is that going to do anything where, Rob, is the podcast
picture?
doing fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that picture being shown with Lutnick right there, you think that's going to cause the White House to an announcement coming out next week saying Howard Lutnick has decided to step down and spend time with his family?
I don't think he can stay silent.
Somebody said it should, and he can't stay silent. All right.
Around
How do you stay silent?
Well, especially given what he said. What's the one thing he said?
lied.
I met Epstein one time, and he lived right across the hall, and I said, I'll never associate with this guy again. Number one, we agreed guys don't talk like that. Number two,
absolutely,
he lied, apparently.
No, not apparently. He didn't apparently lie. He obviously lied. It is not apparent because it appears that he fabricated his answer. He actively lied. He chose, as a point of conversation with Miranda Devine, to carve out a giant, raging, steaming pile of bullshit.
That was just bullshit, Joel.
And thought he could get away with it. Right.
And we're all fans of Lutnick. We like what he's doing.
What's he doing? Standing behind Trump and chuckling? Collapsing the crypto economy through lax regulation? Feeding Trump bullshit that his tariffs are going to eventually pay off as they cause family farm bankruptcies to go through the fucking roof?
We're fans. As they said, you got some explaining to do, honey.
Yeah, that's good. Charm your way out of it. That'll work. Thank you so much for the super chat. Bless you. And thank you guys for your support. Don't forget Venmo, patreon.com/HalSparks, etc.
Howard Lutnick had his Rafael Palmeiro moment in front of Congress.
Yeah.
Remember that? He shook his finger up there. I'd never taken
less than
steroids.
3% of our audience knows who Rafael Palmeiro
Hey,
is.
he's a great home
He was
run
a
hitter.
lefty hitter that hit 50 home runs a couple seasons. He was phenomenal.
Great.
But he was phenomenal, but he was also called to be in front of Congress, and he waved his finger in the air about investigating on
from Miami, I
steroids.
wanna say.
And then in the weeks that followed, he was exposed. He had the receipts from what he purchased. He had Paul DeLuca and other players talking about, wait a minute, what are you talking about? He bought here, he bought there. So, and now Howard Lutnick makes his moment in front of Congress, and this comes up. When you say no one's going to be accountable, I'm going to do something real quick, Pat, on Andrew, Prince Andrew. Remember, Andrew...
Man, they're talking about anybody but Lutnick. They are trying desperately to avoid this conversation.
As a real quick, I said I didn't say not accountable. I said nobody's going to jail.
Well, wait a
They'll
second.
Step down. They'll be
let
shamed.
me show you what's happening over there. First of all, Andrew is being semi-protected by his brother, not covered up by the king, but the king doesn't want full fury, right? He doesn't want all this stuff. And
what are you talking about? He lost his titles. He got kicked out of the royal homes. He's got to live like every other schmo, and he's getting arrested for sharing trade secrets with Jeffrey Epstein. And by the way, he lost his titles and stuff for his sexual, crimes, his sex crimes. That's why he lost that, and because they're not. I don't know what their statute of limitations is over there, or how they could prove it or not prove it. And obviously, the biggest victim of his died by suicide last year, allegedly. And that where I will go allegedly, no matter what anybody says, or that she did it just to protect her family. God forbid. What a terrible situation for that woman to be in. Bless her heart and her memory. But he's going to jail because he shared material trade secrets with him. That's why that's a crime that they can still prosecute.
When the Queen passed away, William was unleashed, and William in 2019 wanted his his uncle banished. And within the last 4 weeks, he said he was not in a calm state when he saw the latest interview that Andrew did. So here's what they did. You can't.
Well, that's British rage. I was not in a calm state. As I watched, I won't say, I would rather not speak of this in an untoward way, but I will say, for the record, that I was not in a calm state. I was not keeping calm and carrying on, as it were. I was just carrying on, quite frankly. I was yelling at the television set. I was not keeping calm at all.
Prosecute royalty. That's the way it works in Britain. Whoops. Guess what, Pat? He's no longer royalty. They took his title. Then he could stay at the Royal Lodge. And they're like, no, we will not support you with dollars that way. Get out of the Royal Lodge. Now he's been moved out of the Royal Lodge. Then what did they do? They banished his royal duties. So he doesn't even get to go to Switzerland.
They banished them? They banished his royal duties? Is there a wand or something involved in the banishing of the royal duties? Go fuck yourself a Floridum. To Florida.
And give them a bouquet of flowers if someone dies, right? On behalf of the royal family, we're sorry. That's kind of what royalty does sometimes. So now you have all this going. The worst, it's going downhill. And now he's actually been served under arrest and question. The noose is tightening around Andrew, and William wants him out and prosecuted, and the heat is so great that you can see the British control systems, who you normally, boys will be boys, and they give free passes to the monarchy. It's not happening. It's getting tightening, and the worst possible thing could happen to Andrew next would be that the cancer, Charles succumbs to his cancer, and William becomes king, because then I think the door's open. He will be prosecuted, and I think it's coming.
He's already being prosecuted.
For him. Okay. And I think you can follow that.
Look, the worst thing that can happen to him is that he is banished to the Bastille, overfed, kept fat, but kept in a room with only crows to look at, until such time as William cuts off of his head and holds it above and says, "The scourge of our kingdom is gone. I am your king." Ding, ding, and bangs the sword on his fucking empty head, and then puts his head on a pike at the edge of town in London as a warning to others. I miss those days of the royal family.
Around the world, that the heat is getting so great. It's getting so intense. I think things are coming.
To America, to people in America.
I think it's coming, Pat.
May I respond to that?
A year ago, I wouldn't have said that.
So you said all that you're outlined that Andrew's sort of going to be the first domino to fall, and other things may happen.
Like
here's how
in
much
court.
I care about the British royalty, and here's what's going on with Andrew. Zero. If it affects America, now we're talking. If Bill Gates...
The victims were American, you dumb motherfucker. The girls were American. If anything, you should be calling for the American legal system to go after Andrew, because many of his crimes were committed on American citizens on foreign soil and on American soil, you dipshit. God damn, this dude will...
Bill Clinton or any of the Slick Willies, something happens to them, now you have my attention. If something happens to some weirdo former Prince Andrew, albeit. But if it affects America, now you have my attention. If it happens to some royalty or former royalty, it doesn't do it for me.
Andrew's going to talk, guys.
Let me ask
Andrew's going to talk.
Let me ask Vinny. If the only person heads to roll, goes to jail, held accountable, and they string him up and put him in a noose is Prince Andrew, but nobody else, would you be satisfied?
Absolutely not. You know, dude, we talk about this all the time. You know where I am with accountability. In regard to Lutnick, I'm extremely disappointed, Pat. That's the guy.
Wow. So you're not keeping calm and carrying on either, are you, Vinny? You're extremely disappointed? Oh, yeah? What do you hope he doesn't get an extra, like, he doesn't get fruit cup with lunch? Or a double scoop of ice cream? You're extremely disappointed? He lied and you bought it. And then he was caught and you're like, oh, I'm very disappointed. I'm enraged by people that there isn't evidence of, lying about it at all. I'll just assume they are because they're my enemy. But somebody who's on my side who clearly fucking lied, very distinctly, provably, measurably lied in public, on film, about his relationship with Epstein that started after he was a convicted pedophile. You're extremely disappointed. Vinny, is this your definition of consistency?
That's the one guy that I kept seeing and going, I like that guy. He's speaking the truth. He's trying to help America out. And Rob, can you show that photo of the dentist's office? There was a photo. There was like a mask on the dentist's office that we talked about last.
Yeah, that looks like Howard Lutnick. Like they did a death mask of him, like a face cast.
2 weeks ago. That looks, no, I'm not being dead serious. This was on the wall in the dentist's office on Epstein Island. I don't know that many.
All right. It looks like Freud, who was another fuckhead as well. But I would love for that to be the Lutnick mask that he wears.
People that look just like that and have that smile. So guess what? If you were caught lying,
be Vince McMahon,
Adam. But here's my thing, Pat. If you get caught lying, Adam, guys, can I speak?
Sorry.
If you get caught lying in that sense, then how can we trust you with any? And it's not like a little white lie. You're lying about hanging out with a convicted, disgusting pet, whatever the hell you want to call him. If the age people try to be like, well, they were 15, or I don't give a damn. He's disgusting. And you're lying. And you're bringing your kids, your nanny, and your people. And it's weird. And then you hear other.
In 2012, 4 years after he had served time. So, yeah, specifically, I notice you guys tend to leave the dates out so that it's like a big wash of the 90s or something.
Stuff like the Cantor Fitzgerald something shorting the tariffs, even though Lutnick was the one going hard on the tariffs. And then wait a minute, your son and some people are making money because the tariffs are the Supreme Court voted against them. It's like.
Can I add this to my pile of, do you think they thought they would be arguing this shit a year ago? Do you think if they were looking, if you gave them a crystal ball and they were looking to the future and like, what kind of stories do you think we're going to cover next year? Huh? I think we're going to be comparing Lutnick's face to a weird fucking Eyes Wide Shut mask that's hanging on the wall at Jeffrey Epstein's island that looked like they had lunch at craft day after the picnic. Mm-hmm.
Now you're losing all this trust. It's very, very disappointing. And then Adam.
It is disappointing. It is. I keep coming back to that word because I'm disappointed. We're all very disappointed. Are we? Are we? I think horrified and enraged.
When the DOJ, whoever's removing these photos, I don't think Trump has 1,000 other things going on.
No, he does not. He's picking out toilet fixtures. He's posting pictures of remodeling the goddamn bathroom in the Lincoln bedroom. He's picking out armrests for the fucking Kennedy Center that are going to shut it down for 2 years as cover for the fact that nobody wants to fucking go there until somebody takes his goddamn name off. No, he's not busy, you dumb motherfucker. You know what? He's doing this. He's taking time off from golf because every time somebody sees him golf, he looks sicker and sicker, and he's huffing and puffing all the way to the fucking first hole. He's spending time looking through files with Pam Bondi going, nope, nope, nope.
When they talk about the deep state, Adam, those are the same people, and I love that you keep bringing up Pam Bondi, guys. Pat, this all comes down to her.
Well, she was second choice. You're right. Matt Gaetz never would have done this.
You ruined this whole damn thing. You should have been transparent from the beginning. You shouldn't have been sitting in a damn...
Sorry, you should have been what from the very beginning? Transplanted?
You ruined this whole damn thing. You should have been transparent from the beginning.
Transplanted. Sorry. Does that mean you go from wearing men's pants to women's pants, or back and forth? You should change your pants? I don't know what transplanted means. If it's transplanted, that doesn't make sense to wear. Banned is maybe a word you might use, or kicked out, or fired. I don't know. Trump he used to use that word on television a lot. He never really does it, but.
You shouldn't have been sitting in a damn restaurant talking crap about 10,000 hours
bragging,
of porn.
bragging.
Yeah, bragging. And now we ask questions. And now you want me to believe that 30 seconds that you guys deleted and took out of that jail cell, you want me to believe what? Oh, there was...
This I love. Yeah. They want you to believe that nothing happened during that time and that he died exactly as they said during the first Trump administration, during year 3, actually. 2 years after Epstein visited the White House to probably, an escape plan like that takes a couple of years. Okay, in a couple of years, you arrest me. I'll help move shit. I'll promise to not release the stuff about you. And then you'll pretend I'm dead, and then I'll move out and I'll go live where, I'll go bunk with fucking Assad and Edward Snowden in Russia.
It's a glitch. Oh, just like all the cameras were off that day. Oh, just like the guards fell asleep. Give me a break. Now you're losing all credibility. And for people like me, that's...
Sorry, Pam Bondi was not in charge back then. Trump was. There's a consistent person through all of this bullshit. Pam Bondi, her job used to be run by a guy named Bill Barr, who Trump also picked, whose dad also gave Epstein a job and was close to him as well, had to be deposed. We haven't heard much about him. I think he gave a written deposition. He didn't even show up to do one on camera. Weird. That's fun. But who's been consistent through this? These are all Trump's picks.
We don't trust any of you. That's what it is. Period.
Dude, can I defend Pam Bondi for a second?
No.
Because
you can't.
nobody's doing that. And yes, she has fumbled the ball. But
No, she hasn't. No, she hasn't. She's got amazing ball handling skills. She's gargling Trumps right now.
Blame Pam Bondi when you've had decades and decades of the Bill Barrs and the Attorney General.
They're all deep state.
But you want to put it on the person who's been in the job for 1 year.
Yeah, yes.
She's the CEO of the company for 1 year.
Why?
Where the company's been.
She's not the CEO. She's the vice president in charge of justice. Right? If this is a company. Who's the CEO in this situation?
Failing for decades.
Let me tell you. But let me tell you,
She's the
Adam,
fall guy. She's the fall guy.
No. Let me tell you. Adam, what would happen if you...
Oh, God, this is just going to be stupid.
...and somewhere, and you negotiated on my behalf, and you agreed or said certain things without running it by me, with terms, without running it by me, what would happen to
That'd
that
be a major
relationship?
problem.
That's what she
That'd
did.
be a major problem.
That's what she did.
Yeah.
No! Well, no, here's the follow-up question. What would you do if Adam had done that? You'd fire his ass. You'd go, that's the exact... And then you put somebody in his position that would immediately do what you told them to do. You wouldn't defend them at every turn. You wouldn't... When someone asked the person you put in charge about that very thing, asked a question by a reporter about that very thing, you wouldn't jump in front of them and go, you don't have to talk about that. You can answer if you want to. But are you even asking about the thing I asked her to do? The fuck out of here. Here's the thing. Peanut butter dickhead. Please someone show this clip to these fuckwads. If Adam did something like that, made a deal without talking to you or whatever, you'd fire him. And if a reporter asked him about it and you didn't know that he was not doing his job, or if you had found out that he wasn't doing his job from the reporter asking the question, you wouldn't go, why are you even asking about... You can answer that question, but he doesn't even have to do the thing I told him to do anymore. What are you talking about? Would you do that? Because that's what Trump did. Follow your own fucking analogy, you chump.
She went...
And it's just...
Don't know if she didn't get the message from the higher up.
She went out there and said there's tens of thousands of disgusting And then she did that a day or two after James O'Keefe got the video catching her saying what are in those files. And they're nasty. You know what that means?
Yes.
In the mob world, what category does that fall under?
A rat.
Grazia.
Loose lips.
Loose lips.
You have loose lips?
Sorry, that means Trump's the mob boss, you dumb motherfucker. How many times did these guys walk into an analogy rake? Am I losing my mind here? Chat room, please, can someone help me right now? Because I think I might have snapped, you know. I think I might be going mad. I think I've popped a fucking chip in my fucking head, listening to these dickheads try to crowbar Donald Trump out of the Epstein files. Who hit mob CEO? What do you not understand how hierarchies function? And if they don't function, it's the fault of the person at the top of the hierarchy. The buck stops there. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. I'm cracking up, clearly. I haven't had anything but some clear broth and a chicken leg since Wednesday. I'm losing my mind. This motherfucker's going to turn me into Herbert Lom in the Pink Panther movies. Jesus Christ. I mean, look, I'm for it. Keep digging, but goddamn. Andrea, CSL, am I missing something? Is there? Do they know Trump is president? Maybe I should start there. Holy shit. I'm fine. Whew. All right, we're going to finish this, but holy God. How much time is left in this fucking thing? Besides the fucking thing where he sells sweaters at the end or whatever the shit.
You can't be on the inside.
So
you go from an insider to being 6 layers out. And that's the problem with her. This is not a character issue. We don't like her. This is not about likability.
Sorry. Being a rat isn't a character flaw? And now, are we out of the mob analogy and we're back to CEO now? I fucking can't with these dudes. I'm just gonna, I can't, it's just, I don't know how people, what do maggots that watch, how did this, this shit is happening? What is happening? How do you live like that? How can you be that fucking full of shit? It's amazing. It's almost like someone called the Guinness Book people. This is the most full of shit I have ever seen anyone be. And there's a group of them. It's like a meeting of the full of shitsters. I'm okay. I'm all right. I'll make it. Whew, here we go.
Loose lips is what caused this to be. Is this it, Rob?
Yes.
No, loose lips. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? The whole point was to release the documents. And what she said was, there's stuff that's awful in there. Where's the loose lips? That's what she's supposed to say. She's the head of the DOJ. What's the loose lips part? Did she do it extra judicially, maybe? Now you're concerned about the rule of law? Motherfucker. Hold on. I gotta back this up a second. Quit it.
Loose lips is what caused this to be. Is this it, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Play the clip. So this is her 2 days after James O'Keefe or a day after James O'Keefe. Go ahead, Rob.
No, the FBI, the FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that.
Where's the loose lips in this shit? What the fuck are you talking about? She said it in public to somebody who asked her, and then she repeated it the next day, either because it was caught on tape or because she was gonna say it anyways. She was maybe they were at lunch going, "Oh, how am I gonna say this tomorrow?" Right? Like, who cares? Was she not supposed to leak that there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn? Now, this is let me break this down legally for those that are present, and this is gonna. Okay. Compromise. Video of an adult man with an underage girl that is for the purpose of blackmail is blackmail material. It is video that was surreptitiously taken, unknown to the participants, of a man victimizing a girl. Okay? That's what it is in legal terms. If you sell it or show it for pleasure to someone else, then it's porn. It's not porn when it's evidence. It's just evidence. This guy was keeping this video in case he needed to control this other person. That's not porn. That's not child porn. That's compromise. What she wants to do is take all the compromise, call it child porn because someone else has seen it, namely the FBI and the people who have to review it to see who the fuck is in it. She's calling all that stuff, which very well may include Trump, and Lutnick, and others. She's calling that child porn as an excuse not to release it. Does that make sense? That pornography isn't just the capturing of imagery. If you film you and your partner having sex, it ain't porn. It's not porn. It's just a record of you and your partner having sex that's not for anybody else to watch. If it's sold or given to someone else for their pleasure to watch, then it becomes porn. Does that make sense? Like the fucking Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson video. It wasn't porn until somebody stole it and sold it. It's still true. It's still real. It's still video of them. Now, they were both of age and married and well endowed, so everybody wanted to see it. But that didn't make it porn. It was never porn. It was always someone stealing their own personal property and showing it to other people. What she wants is to make everything that isn't Epstein with a girl, and I would assume this includes video that includes Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein with a girl, or anybody else and Epstein at a party with a girl. Just Epstein by himself with an underage female, or any woman who was there under duress as evidence of his crimes, and then everything else is just porn. And we're not releasing porn. We're not in the business of releasing porn. Well, it isn't porn. It's fucking compromise. And that's evidence in a crime, both of the person who was committing the act that was blackmailable in the first place, and evidence of blackmail and a honeypot situation, and perhaps leverage that this guy had that would make them commit other crimes. Like when Prince Andrew was calling fucking Epstein and giving him trade secrets so that he could do insider trading. I'm fine. I'm all right. But is that clear? I don't think anybody else is making that case, and I really want this to be clear. What she talks about as child porn is not child porn. It is evidence. It is evidence of adult men victimizing children. Now, I got news for you. If he purchased some of that porn, like she wants everybody to believe, which I don't believe at all, house full of fucking cameras, but he had to buy child porn, the fuck out of here. He did it. He didn't need to... If he bought it, in the video is a victim who needs help, even now, if that person is alive, and whoever victimized them. If you find just rando fucking child porn, here's a good idea. Arrest the people who are in the videos with those other people if they are still alive and you can fucking find them. It's just not like, oh, well, that's child porn. It's never going to see the light of day. Who the fuck was the guy in it? Or guys, God forbid. Right? Here's a good idea. What if it's none of the big elites we're talking about? It's just a bunch of fucking hillbillies fucking their kids in Louisiana, and they're passing these tapes around. Arrest everybody who has a copy of it, everybody who received it, and sent it, and then go find the fuckers that made it in the first place. It makes my fucking skin burn. This is so pathetic. And it makes it even worse that she is using its existence, the existence of child pornography, which is by its very nature, the act of a child being sexually victimized by a victimizer. There has to be somebody in the video with them or filming it. Find out who filmed it. Let's say it's just child exploitation, just nude children doing shit, and there's no other adults in it, but it was filmed by an adult, and obviously, and shared by an adult. Arrest that person. Track that person fucking down. If somebody's selling Jeffrey Epstein child porn that he is showing to his buddies at a party, that's co-conspirators with Jeffrey Epstein. Those people qualify too. You fucking dizzy bitch. And this whole, it's never going to see the light of day. We don't want to watch it, you dumb motherfucker. We want to, you need a special master and a team of investigators who deal with this kind of shit and a team of fucking psychologists to help them get through it once it's over, who run down every possible lead that's in the child pornography that's in there. But the reason she's just writing it off as a big chunk is because in that is not just rando men with rando kids and he just liked to collect it. It's men he knew that he filmed in his own fucking house. Some of which she probably works with right now. Some of which Trump invited into the White House repeatedly over the last year. I'm all right. Sorry, PDB, go back to defending Trump.
I haven't.
Who hired her on purpose after he was going to put Matt Gaetz, a guy who was bounced for doing the same thing that Jeffrey Epstein was doing. The ethics committee was going to find that he had drugged girls and flew them using false IDs to Georgia and the Caribbean over state lines out of the country. And this was the plan they were going to fucking run. He was Timu Jeffrey Epstein. That's what he was shooting for. And that was his first choice. His second choice was the woman who also continued to run interference for the co-conspirators the entire time she was in Florida. Not a fucking peep. Nobody got wrapped up. They were all over West Palm Beach.
Seen that statement, but I'll call him later. And
So the part is that you get if you notice one thing, I had Christine Ohm on the podcast the other day.
Going viral right now, by the way.
One of the clips about her being spied on. Yes, about her being spied on, right? But we had Christine Ohm on the podcast the other day. Great conversation. She did great. And guess what? A part of who you hire is to represent you.
Uh-huh. You're almost there. You're so fucking close. What are you looking at on the table? You're looking at the line that if you cross that line, oh, Trump hired her. He must have known. He's not just winding people up and letting them go. He micromanages fucking everything. Listen to Jameson Greer. He said, when you get there, put the guy from the Philippines on the phone and I'll negotiate. He basically negotiated the whole deal while he was talking on the phone. I don't need Jameson Greer to do it. He micromanages all of it. You think he's going to leave the fucking, the files about the wingman files alone?
The marketplace. By the way, just so everybody knows, you don't get it right. A guy asked me a question about an investment he had that he lost, and he was impacted.
Yeah, it's a great parallel, by the way. Children being victimized by rich and powerful men, possibly even murdered. Yeah, anyway, so sorry. Tell me about how you and your buddies make money on crypto or some dumb shit.
About it in a big way. He's asked me this question yesterday. I said, what do you do? I said, every year, you're going to get some decisions wrong. Every year. I've been running.
Wow, that's amazing. You should probably write a book. Let me get this straight. Your advice to people is that in work, they're eventually that every year you're going to get some decisions wrong? When does that shit happen?
Business for quite some time.
Thank you so much for the super chat.
Every year. And all I want to do is to go from 48% better decisions to 52% to 56%. You ain't.
Sorry, that's your standard?
Never going to be 95% or 90%. It's just not going to happen, right?
Okay, so Pam Bondi was a 5% mistake of Donald Trump's? Like hiring Bill Barr, whose dad gave Epstein his first fucking job at a girls' school he was not qualified to teach at? What, is that in the same 5%? Are all of his mistakes in picking people at the DOJ who just happen to run interference on crimes that he is linked to?
And sometimes when you hire people, you can't speak on their behalf. Pam Bondi screwed up because of loose lips and the way she handled herself. And
loose lips? What do you think? The binders were her idea?
She created noise, and she could have prevented that. This is not about questioning anything else. There needs to be.
This is not about questioning anything else. We're just here to shit on Pam Bondi and stop. Well, I guess, dude, if Trump fires Pam Bondi immediately because of the stack of fuck-ups apparently she's doing, then you'll know she's doing the exact opposite of what. And if he puts somebody in after her that makes up for all those mistakes, that is totally going to come clean, doesn't, make any mistakes, and is clear-eyed in the release of the documents and all this stuff, then I'll be an asshole. Then fine. I will gladly say that it would be one of the 3 times I've been wrong. I'm not going to hold my breath, fuckhead.
A fall person on this. If you don't have it, it's going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to, and by the way,
sorry, wait, whoa.
Questioning anything else. There needs to be a fall person on this.
Oh. Yes, that's what Trump needs. He needs somebody he can throw under the bus. Yeah. Because that's leadership. Mega.
If you don't have it, it's going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
It's going, and by the way, here's.
Hey, asshole, you do realize if he kicks her to the curb, he's going to put somebody in that's going to do the same fucking thing because it's not them, it's him. You can't have a fall person unless the crime is over. I got to tell you, she's got to ride this shit out. She's got to go as crimey as she possibly can. And then on his way out the fucking door, he can kick her to the curb, blame her, and then pardon her. So she never has to come in and answer questions. Because I guarantee you, that's the plan.
How this works. The faster you do it, you know how if you're a hairy person.
No, I don't.
You're doing EKG, and they put all this stuff on your chest, and your chest has got hair. Okay? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. You know what's the worst thing to do when you're
pulling
taking
them off?
No, taking it like this.
Oh,
you ever seen nurses that do this? And you hold the nurse's hand. What are you doing?
Yeah, this is. There's a big parallel between Pam Bondi actively hiding the co-conspirators in Epstein's sex trafficking ring and the rich people that benefited from it, ran as running buddies like Trump and like functional members of this elite sex trafficking unit. There's a lot of parallels between that and male depilatory.
The damn thing off. You go, boom. Right? And you scream like the 40-year-old virgin clip, right?
Analogy.
But you know where they are?
It's a stupid fucking analogy, Vinny, you dipshit.
Right now.
Yeah. You know what? Because you know what this means? Trump, just admit you were buddies with him. You fucked a bunch of women he sent your way. You maybe didn't know that some of them were underage, and you did know some of them were. That's the pulling off of the Band-Aid. That's the analogy. What he's suggesting I suppose, is that this is fuck me. That the pulling off of the Band-Aid would be just fire her, right? That's what he means. That's not the pulling off. Fuck me. Sorry, somebody's sending me a massage. Hold on. This is oh, hi Francis. Right. Oh, that'd be awesome. I love that idea. I'll work that out with Johnny. I'll ask him tonight. That'd be great. If he can't, you could still go into the studio and he would talk to you from home if he can't make the drive in. I could still have him on the air, shit, both of you, even if you won't. I'd love to have Driftglass and Blue Gal come into the fucking studio. Passed on.
They got to go wham.
Great point.
Pull the whole thing already.
Right. Admit that Epstein introduced you to Melania, that he was at Marla Maples' wedding, that you went out and fucked some look of the year girls a couple of times together, that he kept one of his girls after she had turned 18 and he was no longer interested in an apartment where Trump and a bunch of his buddies could go over and fuck her. Yeah, just pull it off. Just say it. It's great advice. Please do.
And by the way, that's exactly what they're doing.
Of course. So why would that change now?
I'll tell you why. Because it's not a fucking Band-Aid, you dumb motherfucker. It's a catheter with fish hooks in it. That ripping it out is way worse than taking it out slowly. I'm telling you, again, the reason they're dripping this is because the public insists on this information and they can't hide from it, so they have to just try to media manipulate by releasing selective stuff constantly. Ripping off the Band-Aid would be a full admission of everything Trump did with Jeffrey Epstein. That's not going to happen, dumbass. And if it did, it would be worse than this.
But because the temperature's the highest and it's not going to go away. You realize every time, like,
oh, it's not the highest. I'd like to point that out as well. It's not at all. This is not the hottest. This is going to be at all. Oh, no. There's still 3 million documents, which could be millions upon millions of pages. 50 million is the highest number I've heard, along with images and video that include Donald Trump that have been intentionally redacted by Pam Bondi and her team under national security and privilege for some fucking reason. No, it could get way hotter.
We could be talking about right now victory, State of the Union. We could be talking.
No, you couldn't. There is no alternative universe. There is no other version of this where you could have gotten this behind you last year. Nope. Because if he ripped off the Band-Aid like this asshole is suggesting, even Trump's supporters would insist that he immediately step down. Vinny would be calling for Trump to be guillotined. I'm not kidding.
Talking about stuff that's actual real topics, but you're causing the last.
Oh, this isn't a real topic? So it's only the slow roll of things that's keeping it in the news cycle, not the extraordinary nature of them. And again, this video is about Lutnick lying in the first place, then admitting that he had email exchanges with him, and that they had no relationship. And then we see not only that he begged him to go to the island and they had a family trip there, but he actually has pictures of him on the island that may be from the same trip or another one. And again, we may still find out in the other documents that have been redacted, like this image was, that he was there multiple times and that there's a compound lie here. So no, ripping off the Band-Aid is not going to help them at all. It will make it worse. Why? Again, the only other answer is that this guy thinks Trump is stupid, which I happen to think he is. But he doesn't. He thinks he's brilliant. So that Trump has no idea how to deal with, shit that, I don't have any part in this. I'm safe. I can do anything. I'm the most powerful and beloved president that's ever been in the White House.
16 videos on Fox to be 11 of them to be what? About Epstein.
Yep.
You think everybody wants to talk about that?
No.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, but that's
you guys don't, because turd polishing is a terrible job.
This game works.
Real quick, can I respond? I absolutely agree with you. You know who's laughing at us right now? Our enemies, China.
Oh, I thought he meant me. I'm your opponent. I'm not your enemy. I will say that. There's a difference. And China's not laughing. They have what they're laughing about is like, why do Americans give a fuck if their leader fucks a child? Mao used to, when he was syphilitic and when he had gonorrhea, used to say that his doctor told him he needed to wash his genitals, and he said he washed them in the bodies of his concubines. they're laughing because we give a shit about what happened to the victims, not about how the leaders are getting away.
Okay, Russia, because here we are arguing over little 16-year-old pedophilia, whatever Epstein did on this island.
Little 16-year-old pedophilia, whatever he did on this island, with the current Commerce Secretary and the President of the United States and the ambassador to Turkey and the former AG and 6 other people that are in business with Donald Trump.
When they're trying to have world hegemony and take over the world, and we're arguing about chicks with dicks.
It's not just
and
what
trans
he.
stuff.
It's not what he
I
did.
hear
Yeah, that's Trump making that argument, not anybody else. You want to talk about who really wants to talk about stuff like men and women's sports and transgender for everybody? Trump is the only person that brings that up. It isn't a topic without maggot freak out. It just isn't.
It's not.
But there's a lot of noise going on
it's
here,
not. But
and we're trying to find the signals through the noise. I just don't think it's going to happen.
some of this noise is real. So there's a difference between bad noise that's you don't need to pay. Some of it is real. You know, your kids will scream, "Oh my God, no, that's not fair. That's not fair." Noise. Oh my God, my ankle! Look at my ankle. It's bleeding. It says, "Oh wow, this is bad. Let's go to the hospital."
That's noise.
You have to know there's real noise. Okay.
But there's certainly
This
some real
is-
noise
this
here.
is-
But there's a lot.
That would be signal in this analogy. Signal would be your kid saying their ankle is exploded. And noise would be them bitching at their siblings. Which also, as a parent, should be signal as well to how well they're being raised and how well they're behaving. And I don't know how much food there is to go around. I could all be interpreted. When it comes to raising children, to some degree, it's all signal. It's just varying degrees of emergency signaling.
Dude, the guy that's got one of the biggest jobs in the White House said, "I only met him one time," and he doesn't tell the story about being on the island. The picture's released, and it's the one picture that you didn't put on the web.
Bingo.
You when you do stuff like this, you know, you make it challenge.
You're making his job hard. This is why he gives a fuck. I gotta come out and fucking. We had this guy on. I have a deal with this asshole.
On people, you don't make it easy. So, anyways, I want to go to the next story. Next
Is
story.
Trump going to fire anyone in his cabinet? Is the question.
No, he won't
Because
do
he
the
has not fired Bondi.
He
has
won't do
not
the
fired
firing.
Lutnick.
He won't do the firing because of one person. There's one person on the inside that knows how to handle these sensitive situations in a proper way.
Wait, Susie Wiles is going to keep Trump from firing Pam Bondi? Why?
And her name is Susie Wiles.
What the fuck? Why would she stop him? Because it'd be what would be her justification? And by the way, I got news for you. If Susie Wiles says they got to go and Trump says yes, it's still his decision. Right? What I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it's taking me this long to realize. So you assholes just jump from woman to blame? That's the goal of this situation, is that it's in all these circumstances, it's the woman's fault. I know Adam's sitting over there going, some girls got raped, 1,000 or so. Bleh. But the argument here is that you're just jumping from woman to blame. That Hillary is more to blame than Bill in their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein. That Pam Bondi is at fault for doing exactly what Trump told her to, and Susie Wiles, if she tells Trump not to fire her, it's Susie Wiles' fault. If she tells him to fire her, it's her doing it, or that she'll fire her. That'll be the idea, is that Susie Wiles will make the decision around Trump.
So there's different ways to fire people. Okay.
Yes, you can give them a chance to resign. Tell them you're parting ways. They're going to spend time with family.
In fact, what I'm going to do right now, Rob, just go pull up the block story, square story, okay? And
oh my God, we're going to go to the fact that they're cutting half of their. Sorry. So unless you're going to argue that Pam Bondi needs to be replaced by Grok, which I wouldn't be surprised. What the fuck does this have to do with anything? If you don't know, we talked about it a little bit this morning. Jack Dorsey, who used to own Shitter when it was actually a fun site that people actually used, has a company called Block. They own Cash App, amongst other things, and Stripe, I believe, and which is like a credit card scanning thing. That's the business he's in now. And he just fired half his workforce because they're going to expand with AI and go all in on that. They had 8,000 workers. They're going to 4. And he just did it all at once as a Band-Aid that he's ripping off, right? That's the idea. Like the analogy here is fucking grotesque. Oh, hello there. Jesus.
It has nothing to do with this, but
why did I even bother? Yeah. Hey, asshole. We know.
There's many different ways on how to fire people. One of them.
I can't. I've snapped again. I've snapped. I can't. I don't even know what I'm going to do anymore. My brain's got a cramp in it.
Is you're fired. Another one of them is reposition. Another one of them is severance. Another one of them is, hey, give them a smaller job.
Down to be with my family.
Yeah, I'm stepping. There's so many ways, and Susie is a pro. So whatever way this is going to be done.
Yeah, the UAE and Qatar certainly think so. She works for them too, just like Tucker Carlson. Yeah.
Best trust. What's the difference between this time around, last time around? This chief of staff, she's a boss. Everybody who runs a company.
Hold on. Oh, all right. Hold on. You mean where's the picture? Yeah, here it is. Open image in new tab. There we go. You mean this lady? Who, when Trump was talking, looked at him like this? This like, fuck, here he goes being dipshit again. Yeah, she's a fucking boss. She's great. Oh shit, where are you? Hold on. Oh, tell me I didn't close that image by accident. Hold on. Son of a bitch. I don't know. I'm done with them anyways. But all right, hold on. I gotta bring this clip back up because I dropped it in the center. Son of a bitch. I accidentally closed it. My bad. Where is yeah, here it is. Here. Reopen it. It should go back to the same spot, I think.
Now, there's two things that needs to happen.
Hold on. All right. Back here. Two ways to fire.
And you negotiated on my behalf. And you
okay, I saw that.
No.
So this part
going to continue. But because the temperatures that you don't need to pay, some of it is real. On people, you don't make it easy. So yeah, I'm stepping. There's so many ways, and Susie is a pro. So whatever way this is going to be done, best trust. What's the difference between this time around, last time around? This chief of staff, she's a boss. Everybody who runs a company that's an operator, you want to have a Susie Wiles, okay? So far, she's done a great job.
If you...
Based on what? You guys have been bitching about Pam Bondi for fucking months. Since Bindergate. Since the fucking memo in July. What do you mean so far? What the fuck does she have to do with this? Other than blame the woman, I guess. And Eagle. Uh-huh. All right. Real quick. I went way over with this. There's no way we're going to do this stupid Trump speech at this hour. It's Friday night. I wouldn't do that to you. But there's a little short one, and I don't just mean the host. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Kelly, the most miserable man on the internet, making another appearance. You know, it's been a while. And people are like, why do you call him the most miserable man on the internet, Hal? I mean, because every time you freeze frame him, unless there's a tongue jut, His face looks like that. That's why. And of course, Trump will never be his new daddy, which is what he desperately wants. But this is Greg Kelly. We need a proper explanation for this Hillary. First of all, it's Madam Secretary or Senator to you, or even Madam First Lady. You're not on a first name basis with her, dummy. You're not on a first name basis with your own family. So let's see what we need a proper explanation.
Well, here's something you don't see every day.
Thank God, I guess.
Hillary Clinton taking pointed, aggressive questions from the press.
She's not in office. She's a civilian. Why would I see that every day? How many other civilians do I not see that from?
We saw her squirm quite a bit, actually. So she testified before the House Oversight Committee, just down the block from where she lives in upstate New York, taking...
Yeah, which is closer to D.C. than Ohio, which is... But Republicans think Ohio is more America than New York, so I don't know why they didn't go back there, why they couldn't make it to that one.
Questions about Epstein, Ghislaine, the girls, all of that stuff. And, wow.
Yeah, and Donald Trump didn't.
What do we find out? We don't know yet, actually.
I'm Greg Kelly, newsman. Tonight's news, there isn't any. I'm sorry. They put me on at this time every night, whether I have anything or not, folks. I don't know what to tell you. Nobody even preps me. I don't have a staff. I got an office, smells a little funny, and an easy chair, and I get mad if people sit in it. And I got a, I was going to get a mini fridge, but I was worried that people would steal my yogurt again. So I just used the company one, and then somebody unplugged it. And anyways.
We're going to get some clues in a little bit. The full transcript will be online at some point.
Breaking news. The full transcript will be online somewhere between now and when the sun loses power and the earth turns into an icicle. Could be billions of years, or Jesus could come back. I'm not quite sure which and what the time scale is.
But there are some wild circumstances that the Clintons have found themselves in, right?
Yes. Wait, hold on. This is going to aggravate me. Here you go. I've got, look at the, let's see. I want to see some wild times. You can't blame me. I don't have to look at fucking Greg Kelly's face all the goddamn time. Okay, let's see. You mean this kind of wild times? Oh shit, I gotta turn it. I'm gonna get a fucking copyright strike. Yeah, remember these wild times? Ah, it's wild. She's hot. Look, you could jump on her and you could spin her around and stuff. She's like 12. Look at that one. She's hot. He says she's hot. And then he goes, got any roofies? Right. Ugh. Ugh. They partied like this non-fucking stop. Sorry, you were saying, Greg, you were saying something about wild times or some shit, right? Yeah? Whoops, sorry. Hold on, back up here.
Block from where she lives in upstate New York, taking questions. But there are some wild circumstances that the Clintons have found themselves in, right? Especially Bill. Here, there, and everywhere with, well, yeah, there's that matter. And then there's the other matter. And then there is the, well, the plane and, yeah, all kinds of stuff. Look, the whole country is obsessed. So people...
Sorry, these three situations, this is very Gary Hart. But this is after the look of the year. This is before he started his modeling thing, or about the same time he did his modeling thing, where they were bringing over 15-year-old girls, where he bragged to Howard Stern they got to walk in on the teenage girls while they were getting dressed and inspect their mouths like they're fucking horses. Yeah, he never liked him very much, I think.
We'll have questions. The Clintons were there at one point. They saw a lot. Maybe they know something. Maybe they don't.
By the way, this picture was taken after Trump, was before Trump was partying with him. Just saying, in your timeline of getting closer to arrested for sex crimes, this is very early in the 90s. And the partying stuff with Trump hanging out with him, this is way fucking later. Now, I want you to look at these assholes together. This shit, right? Where he's whispering about hot chicks to this guy. And then I want you to look at this picture. And I just want to say, just on the merits, which one, while both of them can be seen as skeevy or concerning, whatever, which one's more incriminating? Because this one's in the Bill Clinton Presidential Library. This is part of the official record. See here, I don't know if you can see this. This is the source for it. Bill Clinton Presidential Library. That's right. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, yeah.
Well, they know
having all his shit redacted.
Something, of course. So, but Hillary said, look, all the sex stuff, it came way after we had anything to do with Epstein.
Well, and no, his arrest did or whatever. They didn't know anything about it according to her testimony. I mean, I'm not going to characterize her testimony anymore until we get the transcripts. But I will say that it was fairly well known, I suppose, around here, I guess, or maybe it's the same time. So if he's about to make the case that it's well known, then it was well known when Trump was partying with him. Sorry, here we go.
You spoke in your opening remarks about how heartbroken you have been for the Epstein survivors as these files have come out. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you have processed and reacted to the fact that the former president, your husband, Bill Clinton, is referenced in the Epstein files numerous times, including in some photos featuring women? And how have you been personally preparing for the deposition that is coming tomorrow?
It says no more dodging, by the way. Which, by the way, where's the dodging part? She testified, the president testified, Trump isn't going to. The only person currently, and this brings, I think, it all in stark relief and makes it obvious that Trump is actively dodging this. He's ducking it. This is Donald Duck.
Are you 100% confident that there isn't anything that the former president knows about Epstein's crimes?
I am, and I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light, and that he was charged and sadly given a sweetheart deal, which, as I said in my statement, had that not happened, perhaps his predatory behavior could have been stopped earlier. But I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people. They did not know what he was doing. And I think that that is exactly what my husband will testify to tomorrow.
Madam Secretary, can I ask?
Little gross there at the end.
Yeah, it's cold. It's outside. She's, what, post-nasal drip makes you that, you want to see gross? How about this? How about that for gross, Greg, you fucking dipshit?
A tissue? She's got a staff of 50. Somebody give her a tissue. It actually is not an unreasonable statement. There is some merit there, except the part about the sweetheart deal. That's been misrepresented and misreported for a very long time now.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're coming to you're going to take this as an opportunity to come to Alex Acosta's defense, and therefore Donald Trump and everybody that hung out with him.
Okay, so we had nothing to do with him after he was convicted of all that stuff, and we didn't know about it before he was convicted of all that stuff. However, there is the matter of Chelsea's wedding, which took place years after Epstein was convicted. And who's there? That's Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, Ghislaine figures prominently.
Yeah, she came as somebody's plus one. The question is, who was she the plus one of? Now, I would like to know that. Wouldn't you like to know that? That's a real question. Was that a follow-up question? We'll be looking at the transcripts.
Just say in Jeffrey Epstein's life, right? What was she doing at the wedding? She has an answer, and then she gets a little bit snippy, it seems to me.
Greg, you're always a little bit snippy, young man.
Why was
I think he's younger than me, I'm fairly certain.
Ghislaine Maxwell invited to the daughter of Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted before that.
She came as the plus one, the guest of someone who was invited.
Thank you all. Photos of your husband in the hot tub.
Was that the snippy part? Saying thank you all and leaving?
I don't know.
Oh, she comes back for another question too, though.
To leave with a little bit of attitude.
A little bit of attitude. 8 hours. It's nighttime. She's been there answering questions all day. And she explains it. And then she goes, that's fine. And she leaves. And then she comes back for another question. We covered this yesterday.
See that wedding again? Possibly, yeah, look, that's an excuse. You have a wedding, you invite people plus one, you don't know who they're going to bring.
Right, but you've never actually been invited to a party, so this might be new to you, Greg. And if you were someone's plus one, you'd be turned away, so they would have to go home. It's rough.
Okay, what else? Tomorrow is Bill Clinton's turn.
What did Hillary know? And that's the end. Tomorrow's Bill Clinton's turn. The end. That's it. That's the whole fucking thing. A little bit snippy. You know what's a little bit snippy? And I'll end on this because I've got radio in the morning and I love you people and I don't want to keep you all night. It's really hard not to go terribly long on these things. Here, I want to show you what I would consider a little bit snippy, just for the record, okay? I want to do this real quick. Hold on, we'll go back to this one.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things.
So it's a little snippy.
And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. It just seems like a desecration.
It's just a desecration to even ask the question, even though it's what you ran on allegedly and what she was put in office by and large to make maggots feel like she would do. Same with Kash Patel. Yeah.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
It is a little snippy. I'm just going to go out on a limb. Wouldn't you say? All right. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for being here with me. Your time and your eyeballs and your ear holes are the greatest gift that you can give somebody that I'm, in my position, especially as a professional streamer these days. Nerd Halen dates coming up, very exciting. Stand-up dates coming up, very exciting. Perhaps even some convention dates. Yes, that's right. Zoltan might be going on the road again. And of course, I will be bringing 3D printed props with me. Won't I? So until such time as I come through your neighborhood, and by the way, at any of these things, Patreon people, like all of our paid Patreon folks are invited to come as my guest. And if there's a bunch of you all in one city, I will make special arrangements. Just saying. Yes, we're going to raid Tara if we can, right? Are we ready to raid? Ready to raid Tara Devlin? Excellent. Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you guys so much. Send Tara Devlin my love when we pop you over to her feed. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. And I'm so glad I had the forethought to write this song.
Yeah, if they ask, I forgot it. You ain't seen nothing. Yeah, we ain't saying nothing. Black bar over my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Blur that face, can't fact check the madness. Throwing out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad-libs, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. I was young, I was dumb, I was scrolling. Type way too much, hit send, heart swollen.
No, we're not
I keep
homosexual,
receipts like
but
a
we are
lawyer
willing
with a
to
folder,
learn.
But anything risky get hit with the tone of whole group chat. Got tails, I ain't claim. If my name pop up, that's a typo, blame. Who's that in the pic? Man, that ain't go strange. That's a random stranger with a very close face. On the stand of my friends, I plead don't recall. If they ask for the tape, it's a missing file. If they pull up the clip, that's deep fake style. If they show me the proof, I just smile like red this. Black ball from my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Blur the face, can't fact check the madness. Throwing out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad-libs, highlight, right click, boom, redact. If it hit too close, that's a rumor I heard. If the dateline match, that's a clerical error. If the outfit match, that's a popular shirt. If the tattoo match, that's a stock photo search. I'm allergic to question, carve in the light. I just added the ending, soften the bite. Take the worst 3 parts of the night, then slice like was had and we were not. I
had a beat off.
Every
I
X
had a
got a
beat
chapter
off.
I seal. Every text got a gap in the reel.
Transvestite.
I ain't lying, I'm curating the reveal. Just trimming little bits of the raw. Real deal, if you saw, you didn't. If you know, you didn't. If you talk, I'm clipping. If they ask, we glitching. Swipe that name out, crop that frame out. If it made me look foul, delete then fade out.
Potatoes and chicken.
Redact this. Black ball from my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Blur that face, can't fact check the madness. Throwing out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad-libs, highlight, right click, boom, redact this.
Not good. Not good.
Redact this.
Not good.
Tariffs! Potatoes and chicken.